Hello, hello. Have a good stream. Thank you, thank you. Um, sorry, am not done eating. I like started cooking at like 4:30, and I was like, wait, you can hear me. Alright. Um, I was like, I'm gonna start cooking at 4:30, and I tend to eat pretty fast, so like I'll be done. And then it was 4:30, and I was heating up soup, and it took longer than I expected, and then eating took longer than I expected because I let my soup get hot. So I'm not quite done eating, but we can get started. I'll try to be very silent in my little sips. Um, right. Hello, hello. Welcome back. If you were here yesterday, we're gonna be finishing The Lingering Taste of Oil, which is a visual novel that my friends made. Content warning for abusive relationships, substance abuse. I'm trying to think. Let me go read the page just to make sure I get everything because I don't want to forget. It says overt sexual themes, substance abuse, abusive relationships, objectification. Um, we we read this for like 3 hours yesterday and we didn't finish, so we called it a day. But we will be finishing it today. As far as I'm aware, we're kind of getting close. Um, I'm really enjoying the story so far. Like it's really good. It's been hard to handle with like how many pretty women are just like in my face, but it's like nice. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. I need to change something because I don't like. Okay. Um. There you go. I think it is a very good game. What do you guys think? Does the continuous bouncing look better than the one bounce? I think the one bounce might be a little rough, a little harsh. Sorry, I like just realized today while I was setting up that my Fugi was not like speaking, like it was not opening, like the open image did not work for some reason. So I had to go and fix it. Um, so I should be speaking properly today. Hopefully that wasn't. I don't think anybody noticed. Right, but let's get started. I think this is where we were. This is Ara, and this is our main character, Yejin. Excuse me 1 second. Let me see. Ara, I don't mind a taboo fling. I don't mind a little taboo fling. I was just wondering how you'll be able to handle it once I'm gone, and you're still stuck here all by yourself. The cigarette's flame burnt the back of my throat and forced tears to my eyes as I took a much bigger drag than was necessary, trying to drown out her voice with ash and the buzz of nicotine. Maybe you'll buy another model and try and convince her she's like me? I wonder if you'd end up with a similar result, given how much you know about my programming. Maybe you could build me up from scratch, and eventually you'll forget that there was ever a difference. It wouldn't be the same. I know that much. It just wouldn't be the same. I repeated it to myself over and over again, as if the repetition would somehow make it a fact, as if it could somehow convince me not to try. I felt myself cur- careening down a dark, unlit road from which I wasn't sure I could escape. I looked at Ara. She made my eyes and smiled, unmoored by all the concerns I couldn't shake. She was doted on perpetually by Fortuna, and even in that woman's absence, I debased myself for her attention at the slightest opportunity. It occurred to me only then that I would need to make a decision. I had dwelt in fantasy for long enough. There was no future in keeping Ara and myself suspended in this intimate limbo, trying to cling to something that I refused to let exist. I couldn't admit to myself that it was possible to fall in love with something like her, and yet, even if I didn't specifically say it that aloud, I wasn't delusional enough to deny it. All that mattered was if I allowed it to guide my decisions. The final embers of the cigarette melted to ash as I tossed the butt aside and buried my face in my hands. You seem conflicted. Something on your mind? You want me to help you feel better? No, Rara, I don't need anything. It's just that I don't know if I can handle the hole in my life you'll leave when you're gone. I know that's fucking pathetic to admit. I don't know what to do anymore. I'm so sick of this. I hate being this, living like this, feeling like this. I can't do it. Is that what you want to hear? I'm not. I should have never done this to you. To me? Yes, to you. I did it all to you. I pretended I never wanted it, but I'm just a fucking freak. The second I had the chance, God, just thinking about it makes me sick. I can't even say it. Aura remained silent for long seconds, staring at me with the barely transparent lenses of her eyes, focusing in on my pupils. When her lips parted again, all her usual impish sarcasm was gone, replaced only by a measured and grim certainty. You admitted to yourself I was real before any of this even started. Not a real human, that is, but a real lover. Something you could cherish, take care of, and maybe spend the rest of your life with, if you could. That was the first step, I think. Once you thought of me as real, you fell in love right after. You always loved androids. I could have guessed as much. You just told yourself it was out of love for your work, rather than a hole in your heart you needed to fill. When I told you about Fortuna, you accepted it all. That was when the dam broke. It might be artificial, made of metal and replaceable parts. You just see that the same way a human would see a birthmark or any other biological trait. It doesn't define me. It's just part of me. This is all real, all of it. No way around it. The question is, I dug my fingertips into my cheeks. Each truth fell onto my shoulders like an anvil, crushing my soul into the earth and obliterating any hope I had of rejecting it. Are you willing to let me go? Can you accept that I love another, much like you would a human? You can build me, define me, buy another model, replace what I'm made of. But can you accept that I didn't choose you? Yejin, do you love me? If I knew then what I knew now, I would have taken a year to make that choice. As it stood, I was at my lowest, absolutely cratered by the sudden understanding that of my depravity's true depths. The implication of my decision, it did not occur to me nearly as quickly as the urgency I perceived in making it. Sorry. The implications of my decision did not occur to me nearly as quickly as the urgency I perceived in making it. That was the moment that defined it all. Everything before was but a single domino set into a much large. Bu- Everything before was but a single domino set into a much large chain, ultimately pushed in either direction by my choice in that moment. And when it was all on the line, when the barrier separating my truest impulses from my darkest thoughts was at its weakest, when I spoke from both the heart and the mind at once, words tumbled from my lips in a flood so powerful, my entire body trembled from the effort. I Oh, I need to save. I need to save. Okay, okay, okay. 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 Yeah. What do we do? What do we do first? Oh my god, I'm nervous, dude. Fuck. I love you. I need you. I'm keeping you all for me. I love you not. I must let you go. You shine in the arms of another. Bro, okay, well, I'm gonna be honest, right? I understand that Yejin thinks, I understand that art is very real to Yejin, but I don't know what the world building says about androids, but if they can be owned, aren't they technically property? So the first one is a crime because it's theft. You know what I'm saying? So okay, let's see what happens if we let her go. I can't. I want to. God. God, I want to. I want to keep you so bad. I've never felt this way before. I You make me someone I'm not. Someone I've never been. And it makes me feel so good. I can't fucking control myself. I've never done anything this crazy in my life. I'm seriously considering shit that I don't even know. Half of me feels like I should ruin everything and just do whatever I want, but the other half knows I shouldn't. I can't understand why I feel this way, but I know I have to stop, or else it'll be too late. So Fortuna can have you. I love you. I really do. But I can't keep you here just because I want it. My whole life would be ruined. You have to go. At some point, I buried my face in my palms and spent the diatribe muttering between my sealed fingers, trying desperately to avoid the burden of shame. When the last words left my lips, I expected something to happen. I expected some great feeling of revelation to lift the weight of my guilt. I expected to no longer feel suffocated by my own desire, to feel like I had before. Instead, I only felt the chilling touch of metal against my neck. Goosebumps crawled across my entire body as I felt Aura slide her arms around my upper body, nuzzling the featureless plate of her cheek against my skin. Oh yeah, Jin. Her voice was heavenly beyond description, perfected in a way that humans couldn't be. She dragged her fingertips across my skin, scoring invisible gouges down my spine. All my will to fight back was gone. In that moment, were anything to happen, I would have gone with it no matter what. I was entirely subject to Ara's whims, broken down and ready to be molded into whatever shape was desired of me. All this talk about what you want, what you need to do, how you feel, and all this time, did you never consider me? The things I want, that I need? You know, for how worried you are, you can be very conceited. The thing is, I never needed this to change my life. I love Fortuna, and I love what she's done to me, and how important she makes me feel. But you? I've been broken down, but I've never been fixed. Fortuna taught me to cherish my life by taking parts of it away from me, and you're just the other side of the coin. You see a miracle in every fiber and inch of metal. It feels good to have you right. It feels good to have you there, gawking at me like a zealot. So, you're going to give me back to Fortuna, but for now, I mean, what's a few more days? She won't mind. Plus, if you're good enough, I'll put in a good word for you once I'm back. I don't know if you've noticed, but she's the type to make sure favors get repaid no matter what. I was shattered by emotional whiplash. With all the energy I expended from forcing the confession out of my body, I had none left to recover when my worst fears were assuaged with the kindest, most lenient, most angelic disposition Ara had ever treated me with. Tears welled in the corner of my eyes as I turned to stare at her, mouth agape. Do you really? I mean, I didn't want to force anything on you. Ara giggled, turning my head towards her as she again silenced me with a kiss. She angled our heads just enough to lock our lips together, and all my worries washed away as I leaned into it with everything I had. Bro, um, this feels like we can't escape. Just like false choices, you know? I committed with my entire being to that kiss, every inch of resolve and emotion I had left, in the desperate hope that one moment could become an eternity. And so we wrapped ourselves around one another out of the shared desire to prolong all the time we had left. And yet it passed. Inevitably, the repairs were completed, Ara had been fully restored to her pristine condition, skin and all, and with every craven final kiss and moment of intimacy, I saw in her eyes a growing judgment for my selfish desperation. I could not cling to the temporary eternity any longer. One final round of diagnostics that felt for all the world like I signed away my fate. One last inspection to ensure I hadn't missed anything, and there was truly no reason left for her to stay, and to see if by some miraculous impossibility she had changed her mind. I could see in the glint of her pitying grin that she had not. And so, with the final finality, sorry, the final finality, and with all the finality of lowering a casket into the ground, with the certainty you would never lay your eyes on one, oh, sorry, I understand. Sorry, the change into you confused me. And so, with all the finality of lowering a casket into the ground, with the certainty that you would never again lay your eyes on the one it contained, I strapped Ara into her shipping container and punched the code to seal it closed. In the last second before I lost sight of her forever, Ara met my eyes. See you, Yejin. And with the final click of metal interlocking, the seal closed and she was gone. A few seconds passed before reality set in. I glanced around my workshop at the discarded tools yet to be cleaned, at the smear of paint worn into the floor, at the power cable laying on my desk. All the signs that she had been here, that she had held me, cherished me, comforted me, and now she was gone. My house was silent as the grave, with nothing to keep me company, save for my thoughts. Wow, this bot kind of ruined her life forever. Um, this is so fascinating to me, because like I feel like Yejin was kind of already lost. Like before Aura really tried anything. It really feels like it was like love at first sight. Because Yejin was stumbling and fumbling from the moment Aura kissed her cheek that first time. But like nothing had happened yet. Like their conversation so far had been like, "You should fix my vocal cords so that I can speak to you." And then she kissed her, and it was like, "Damn, you're just like losing her mind." You know what I'm saying? So it feels like Aura was just like the right one to like, you know, bring this out of Yejin and not really create it in her. Right, I'm trying to finish my soup before it gets cold. The soup is pretty good, but it doesn't taste that great cold, so. I entered a depressive episode that lasted days. There was no way to tell that part of the story in any amount of detail, so a summary will have to suffice. The scent of liquor, cigarette smoke, and vomit intermingled throughout the house. Ew, that is so unpleasant. That's like kind of the scent mix that you get from like if you take like a joke Omegaverse alpha scent test or some shit. You know what I'm saying? I took one of those recently, and my friends posted it in a Discord server ran. And I was like, okay, sure, man. I'm gonna take this fucking scent test. What's my scent? And for my Omega scent, hold on, I have a screenshot. For my Omega scent, I got a freshly refilled pill bottle. Like the fucking I think it's supposed to be like like the suppressor bottles. Oh man, I know too much about the Omegaverse media, man. I used to read anything. If I, it says newly refilled pill bottle. You are beauty and poise. You have a gentle, assured nature, but underestimating you is a wait, what? But underestimating you is a means for diagnosis. Your presence is calming. It's one who hears the beauty of the month ahead. In your gentle and self-assured rattle, you you permeate the air around you with the freshly raw scent of sparkling possibilities. Your aroma is smooth and creamy, with faint yet soothing notes of orange. Your crispy, bright scent is grounded in oak moss. A deep smell is reserved for generational anguish some people are born within their bones. You attempt to hide behind the guardrails of a child lock. Oh, your attempt to hide behind the guardrails of a child lock is misguided. Anyone with enough skill can open you. So make sure that only those with a prescription or a genuine need are fueled by what you have to give. Your top notes are Mandarin. Dude, this is so funny. Like, whoever wrote this is so funny. Hold on, I want to see if I can find the other one. I took the alpha one, and the alpha one, they started roasting me. Because I believe in equality. Hold on. It says, the pages of an antique edition of Crime and Punishment. The pages of your soul reek on oppressive halitosis. Can you feel your inaction rotting you from within? The warm and familiar scent of a book curdles in your lover's nostrils. The comforting smell of aged paper falls away, and as your edges yellow, the sweet fermentation of decay takes its place. The reliable musk of leather that you trusted to keep you bound now does nothing but enclose the infection around you and conceal it with aesthetic. When was the last time you opened your mind to an idea bigger than yourself? Top notes, burnt leather, and papyrus. Like what? What the fuck? That was so funny, dude. And like I know what answers I put for that because I specifically said like in my group chat or like in the Discord server I said this is what you believe. This is what you get when you believe in equality and respect omegas. Oh no, I said this is what you get for being a bottom and respecting omegas. Because all of my answers were like non-dominant alpha. I don't know. I think that shit's hilarious. Anyways, that's just a random tangent to go on. But that just felt like one of the answers one of those tests would give you. Not one work-related delivery arrived for weeks. I never entered any new contracts to begin with. I didn't see the point. In every android, I will only see the ghost of what I would never be allowed to have. Cigarette butts festered at the bottom of empty glasses. I refused to open anything that would lead outside, lest my misery found an outlet. It was far easier to rot than to remember the world went on around me. Every so often I checked my messages to see if there was anything from Fortuna. There never was, and with each compulsive impulse to check only ruined my mood further. I felt unmoored from my life, with nothing to look forward to and no reason to wake up again. It was the ultimate form of my lethargic depression. Each day, I rolled out of bed, and my diet consisted of what little I could stomach between breaths of smoke and bottles of alcohol. Nothing proved truly capable of freeing me from my memories. In the silence and isolation, my every thought was colored by the obsidian sheen of Aura's skin and the faint sensation of metal against mine. Days passed, just like that, until eventually, I finished the last cigarette in one of my last packs, ordered and delivered to my doorstep with the last of my saved funds. Reality began to dawn. I had no money. I was starving. I was sick. I couldn't even find the energy to think, only groping for my phone and whatever substance I had on hand to abuse. I certainly certainty settled over me as I realized I would die alone and uncared for, just like this. A month just before the final vestiges of my hope were about to give way, when any desire I held to continue living weighed down to its final dregs, my phone vibrated in my hand. My vision wavered as I tried to read the screen, and when the small string of text finally parsed through my addled, rotting mind, every single hope I had burst back to life, much like how the final dying grasp of a star birthed a roaring, terrible supernova. Fortuna Castillo. Hey, I'll be over to talk tomorrow. I don't remember what voice I tried to give her. I'm bad with voices, but I don't remember what voice I gave her. The garage door was wide open for the first time in weeks. I paced the small strip of concrete in front of my shop with mountains of nervous energy behind each step. I had showered 3 times in the morning just to try and wash out the smell. Every window and door in my house was wide open for the same purpose. There was only so much the stifled nature There was only so much the stifled natural air of the city could do, but I needed to try. I couldn't let them see me like that. I watched an elegant black car slide onto the street, and my heart leaped with recognition. Sorry. I put every iota of social skill I could muster into making myself look as normal and composed as possible. It took far too long for the car to crawl to a stop in front of my door, and for the entire time I stood stiff as a board, staring and waiting. I couldn't have looked weirder if I tried. The car parked in my driveway, and the passenger side opened first. Because of the tinted windows, I couldn't see who was inside until they stepped out. But the moment a sm- a smile broke out on my face against my will. Fortuna, dressed in an immaculate evening gown, eased her way around the front of the car without looking at me. Her every step was measured in precision as she worked her way over to the driver's side door. When she opened it, she bent over to talk to whoever was inside, and she came out holding something. Not just something, someone. In her hands was Ara, or what little was left. Fortuna dragged her by her hair, and the android offered no resistance. Her body dangled limp along the ground and kicked up sparks as it caught on the edges of the concrete. It was in horrible condition. Enormous chunks of steel were missing from every part of her. One of her arms was severed at the elbow, and she clutched the remainder in it. Oh, and she clutched the remainder in her offhand. Her jaw was split down the middle, and her hair was all but gone, save for what little Fortuna held between her fingers. The pain was beyond chipped. Ara had been all but completely destroyed. Fortuna reached my door and tossed Ara at my feet, where she collapsed in a heap of metal and limbs. Her dismembered arm fell free from her grasp, and she rolled to a stop. Her head faced the, and as she rolled to the, and as she rolled to a stop, her head faced the sky. Holy shit, dude! Oh my god, what happened? Did she like confess to Fortuna, thinking it was gonna like turn her on? And instead of like turning her on, it pissed her off. Like that's what I'm assuming happened. Like she told Fortuna what happened, and like I don't know. Like Fortuna was like, "Oh yeah," and then bad things. Or maybe RF did fall in love with us, and Fortuna could tell because she was acting different or something, and that pissed her off. One of her eyes was gone, and the other, unblinking and focused as ever, was strained on me. When I met her gaze, the pieces of her jaw which remained contorted into a fragmented smile. All of our history flashed back to my mind in one powerful, heartbreaking instant, and we arrived at where I now stand, in the present moment, with no story left to tell. Dude, I'm back. She muses, as vulpine and mocking as she could be. I'm too frightened to move. What happened? She told me about your little fling you had while she was over here. I was jealous. at first and really angry, but we talked it out. She asked for this? My focus shoots back up to Fortuna, but that only makes what her grin widen in satisfaction. Don't look at me, you freak. I've never looked away faster. I kneel down to Ara, cradling her head between my hands, trying to see if there's anything I could salvage, even with all the time in the world. I came over to try and tell you how thankful I was. And what do I expect? And what do find except a sniveling little rat who can't even look me in the eyes? I thought something was off then. But when we got back home and Ara told me everything that happened, it all made sense. You don't like real girls, do you? Alright, bro. Alright. I mean, I like real girls. Whoa. Whoa. Why are you calling me out like this, lady? Leave me alone. Okay. I squeeze my eyes shut as hard as I can to try and end up somewhere else, a different time or different place, one where she didn't know, and I didn't have to have this conversation aloud. You like them artificial. You like it when your skills mean something. The level of access it gives you, I bet. And from what I hear, you weren't even all that bad. Ara says she had a great time. I feel like her voice is changing as I'm talking. I can't. I. I'm not done. The way I see it, I'm more alike than you think. I find a lot in Ara that I can't get anywhere else. I'm gonna let loose in a way I really can't otherwise. So guess what I'm going to do for you? I'll let you in on it. After all, I'm tired to I'm tired of having to look around for a new mechanic every time my doll needs a tune-up. So you're gonna be my personal repair girl from now on. Do you understand? I sit in silence, too scared to speak up again. I'll bring her right to you, and you can have the pleasure of lapping up my seconds like a fucking dog. I figure it would be good for the both of you. That way I can save some money, and Nara can have something to look forward to. And you can, I don't know, find some meaning in it. Get your rocks off to it. I bet you would. And I'll pay you. I'll pay you so well you wouldn't even know what to do with all the money I give you. Sound good? I caress Ara's cheek with my thumb, and she fails to muster the strength to lift her one remaining arm. Oil pulls out of the back of her head where it cracked against the pavement, and stains my hands so thoroughly I'm not sure if they'll ever be clean again. Oh, calm down, you loser. You know she was well enough to drive over here? Right after I snapped her arm off. I made her drive to your doorstep herself. Oh, and she was oh so happy to do it. She must really, really like you. Fortuna grins in my periphery, laughing at me. I know I'm lower than dirt in her eyes. And the worst fucking part of it all, even as I'm ashamed, even as I'm shamed, belittled, called a dog and mistreated, and I know in my heart that I'm a piece of shit that doesn't deserve a single thing, my heart skipped a beat. Beneath all the filth, I feel a deep euphoria crawl up through my bones. I feel more disgusting than I ever have, more unworthy and undeserving of anything that's ever happened to me in my life, and yet, yes, yes, I'll do it. I'll do anything you want. Just please let me keep seeing Aura. Don't take her away from me. God, just don't take her away. Ara's hand trembles as it reaches towards me, and her oil-stained fingertip marks the tears running down my cheeks. She's smiling. Good. I'm sure you'll be able to handle it all on your own, so I'll leave you to it. Have up. Have fun cleaning up my mess. If she even makes it to the operating table. Bro, what the hell? What the hell? Fortuna walks away, and I don't see where she goes. I'm assuming to her car. To leave? I can't take my eyes off of Aura. I can't look away from her smile, from the life in her eyes shining so bright, even if it drains out of my own hands. Out in my hands. And for the first time in weeks, for the first time since I could remember, with absolute and certain conviction, I know I'm happy. Happier than I've ever been. Bro. Wait, what the Okay, let's go back. Dude, holy shit, man. My stomach hurts. That was a lot. Holy fuck. Okay, okay. I think that this is the only other ending. So, I can triple check. Um, yeah, there's two endings. Okay, we did I love you not, I must let you go. You shine in the arms of another. So I'm gonna do I love you, I need you, I'm keeping you out for me. Alright. I love you. Is that what you want to hear? Because it's true. I literally can't believe I'm saying this, but I need you, okay? I can't let you go back to Fortuna. I just can't. I don't know what I'd do without you. I watched recognition flicker across Ara's expression as the final obstructions of my self-esteem gave away. A measure of vindictive anger rose within me as I found some pride in the degree of my outburst. If they wanted to push me to the brink to see what happened when I broke, then I would make them both see. Well, it is nice to know what an effect I have on you. That's just too bad. Fortuna is the one I love. And even if you're good with your hands, that's not going to change just because you wanted to. I don't mind spending some time indulging you, though. I still think you're cute, even it's even if it's not meant to be. Arda laughed and caressed the back of my neck, thoroughly lavishing in the extent of my anguish. With each stroke of her cold fingers down my spine, she plucked and played with the strings of my heart, and after long seconds writing in my mind, they stopped. I smiled and planted a kiss on Arda's cheek, letting none of it show on my face. When I rose to my feet, she followed, and when I grabbed the cable connecting to my computer, she plugged it in to her own neck without a word. So thoroughly established a routine by then. She hopped onto the desk next to me like a patient at a doctor's office. With one idle finger, she twirled the length of the cable protruding from her skull as if it was a strand of hair. Let's get your diagnostics out of the way for today. I injected as much false cheer into my voice as possible. When the console appeared, I settled into my chair and began to type with more conviction and purpose than I had felt in the past years of my life. Time passed in silence, save for the clack of and hum of my computer. Just then, Ara's face contorted to a look of shock and surprise, and she scarcely had time to voice it. Wait, what are you? A sharp crack and a flash of sparks burst from the port of her neck, and after a single instant of convulsions, Ara felt limp. My smile fell. In my mind, there wasn't much crueler you could do to someone than dredge up an unfounded dream they suppressed to the bottom of their heart just to crush it in the last moment. I wouldn't allow it. Adrenaline pulsed through my system and sharpened my gaze, even as I made. Oh my god! Oh my god! Yajin is turning yandere, bro. Oh my god. Okay. Adrenaline, adrenaline pulsed through my system and sharpened my gaze, even as it made my fingertips tremble on the keys. If I went through with this, it would cost me everything I had built, all the years of effort I had spent honing my skills, my career, my business. I just couldn't find the energy to care. It all felt so hollow in retrospect, all an illusion I had designed to distract myself from the reality of my crushing, inescapable loneliness. With a certainty found only in the romantic and insane, I cracked open the files containing Ara's memory, behavior, personality, and got to work. Bro. Wait, what's happening? Much later, in an unfamiliar place, Ara stirred to life. The sudden disconnect and forcible termination of her power supply had shocked her into some faltering aware state, much like when a human faded in and out of sleep. Her eyes fluttered open, and the lenses buried in her retinas focused instantly on the world around her. We were moving. first and foremost, but she didn't know where we were. All of the systems she used to manipulate and understand geographical information had been dismantled by brute force. She was strapped into the passenger seat of a rundown truck as it barreled down an obscure city street. Enormous buildings crowded on either side, abandoned and crumbling. The air itself was tinted warm colors from the smog that had sufficed every inch. Her memory came back slowly, in small fractured pieces like shards of a shattered mosaic. She couldn't quite piece it all back together on her own when she glanced to her side and saw me, sweating bullets as I maneuvered down the alleyway, my heart froze in my chest. That was the point of no return. If it all worked, if there was any point to anything I had done in that if there was any point to anything I had done in that past day, then it was all decided in that single instance of subconscious decision making. I clenched the wheel as hard as I could and did my best to look as disaffected as possible. Good morning, Yejin. Where are we? That's not right. Relief poured over me like an avalanche. So sudden was the short So sudden was the burst of euphoria that tears welled in my eyes and poured down my cheeks before I could stop them. Not from any suppressed regret, but from a pure happiness that it had all worked. I grinned wide, wiping the tears away with one hand. We're just going out on an errand. I had to pick something up at the store. But we're on our way back now. Did you sleep alright? I had to pick some things up at the store, but on our way back now. Did you sleep alright? I don't think so. I must have had some kind of bad reaction when the power disconnected last time. I can't get my head on straight. It feels like she paused, and fear lanced through me as she ruminated on her condition. I was good at what I did, but I had never put it to the test like this until now. It feels like something is missing, but I don't know what. I can't quite put my finger on it. Like, there's a big hole in my memory where something used to be. That was a moment of truth. Well, I did find you in a scrapyard, so maybe there was some residual damage to your head. I need to take a look. Sorry, look. Well, I did find you in a scrapyard, so maybe there was some residual damage to your head. I need to take a look back when we get back. Is there anything else you think you remember? I figured playing along would help cement the lie. I remember a woman named Fortuna. Yeah, what about her? I'm not sure. I remember her name, and I think she must have been very beautiful because that's what I have to associate with it. But I can't think of anything we did together or why she would have discarded me. Well, when I found you, you were in a really bad state. It took a lot of work to get you to even turn on again. Maybe you got in some kind of accident and she couldn't take care of you anymore, and that's where you ended up. The best lies were at least partially true. Maybe. She fell silent, leaving the rough ambience of the broken concrete beneath her wheels to fill the gap. I wasn't confident that the narrative I constructed had landed on the first try, which is fine. It would cement in her mind with repetition until the gap in her memory had been entirely paved over. My specialty was never in software, but that was fine. It could be amended with time. Where are we going? Just back home. We live a little ways away from the nearest scrapyard, so it was a bit of a drive to get the parts I needed. I lied through my teeth. In truth, I had made the accommodations in haste, and it wasn't long until we found out if anything I had worked. I knew Fortuna had the means to find anything she wanted if I gave her enough time. I spent the few days after she visited in desperate preparation for escaping from under her thumb after she had learned everything about me, seen where I lived, and had taken full measure of my depravity. It was simple enough to remove all the tracking data from Mara and to revive her mind around the gaps. It was harder to abandon my home and even still to determine what I considered crucial enough to bring with me. What little funds I had saved from my job, I converted into cold hard cash. I knew the jig was up when, in checking my account to see how much I could convert, the final payments from Fortuna had never arrived, and the initial front-loaded amount had been rescinded. Selling my workshop gave me more than enough to relocate. The rest was excess cash. The rest of the excess cash vanished indiscriminately to various dealers, connections, and con artists to set me up where I needed. I hoped that living in the quarantine part of the city would give me enough of a buffer to live out my days in peace. I readjusted my grip on the steering wheel, trying to squeeze my worries out of the leather. Of course, there was no way to tell. If she could find me, then it was all over. And even if she couldn't, I would spend every day anxious and waiting for the winning attempt. I leaned back in my chair as Aura slumped down in hers, and I let the monotony of the road consume my thoughts. Okay, we're somewhere else now. Interesting, interesting. I didn't know what day it was. From the way the sun cast down through the ragged blinds and felt to pierce through the stagnant air, I knew it was day. Without looking, I fumbled on the small table next to the bed, determining the size of the cigarette butts with my fingertips. None of them were large enough to be smokable. The haze of the room was thick as the one in my thoughts. I didn't know how long I had been laying there, because there had stopped being a point to tracking the time within the first couple of days. The flaws in my plan became apparent as time passed. First, though I successfully secured the apartment with nothing but physical cash, I hadn't thought to line up another job once I got there. I coasted off the bare minimum, buying as little as necessary and using scraps of flour supplied to the place to keep our running. I figured it would be enough. Blinded as I was by the fervor of my emotions, I told myself it was all I would need. A slight flaw I didn't see coming was that finding work would be almost impossible. There was an occasional renegade passing through my part of the town, and I offered my services where I could, but I would never be able to achieve my old lifestyle. I relied on couriers to deliver products to and from my clients. They were forbidden from traveling through abandoned sections of the city lest they got destroyed and broken for parts, which I now knew was a reasonable concern, given that I had weighed the possibility of bartering the components on all the off chance that one did arrive at my door. Even then, if I advertised my service as a mechanic for the highest echelon of functioning android, Fortuna would find me again in a heartbeat. No way around it. So I found what little work I could around the neighborhood. It got me just enough cash to stick around, but not enough to make it anywhere else. Probably because nobody else had enough to give. Hera reached out and traced a single talon on the cir- in a small circle on my cheek. You seem distracted. No, it's nothing. You sure? You have that look in your eyes like you don't know what to do with yourself. I rolled over onto my side in the bed and stared at Aura, laying on top of the covers without a care in the world. The sun gleamed off her immaculate carapace, bereft, bereft of any skin or anything that would convince someone she was human. I cut corners and costs when it came to caring for myself, but Aura was still in perfect condition. I refused to allow anything else. She was beautiful just like that, all metal, sleek and powerful, a perfect artifact of engineering as ornate as she was elegant. The thought to reach out and touch her stalled before I could. Sorry. The thought to reach out and touch her stalled before I could consider acting on it. I did not read that right that time either. Fuck. Okay. The thought to reach out and touch her stalled before I even considered acting on it. As the days went by without note, and my time lost its significance, moments of intimacy blending into one another, into infinity, I grew ashamed. It was impossible to delude myself enough to avoid it. Every time I touched her, every time we were together, I couldn't help but think of my old life, everything I had given up, deeper all to myself. Disgust defined my every waking moment. My hand dropped from the table and hung over the edge of the reedy mattress as I stared up at the moldy ceiling. Oh yeah, Jin. Aura rolled over towards me and wrapped one leg over my waist, cupping my chin with one hand. She loved to force my attention with the tips of her talons. I know you still feel bad about Fortuna. I know she misses me very much. But I love you. You're the one for me no matter what. And even if she does find us, I'll choose you over her any day. Because you're always so good to me. So I say let her come. As long as I could stay here with you for the rest of time. I'm in heaven. As the last words left her lips, like the final notes of a symphony, she leaned in and sealed off my rebuttal with a gentle kiss. Her cold, unforgiving metal grip latched onto my skin as I returned the gesture with redoubled passion, and within minutes we were a storm of noise, skin, and steel. Wow. Holy! I remain cognizant of how it all went wrong. I can't help but think of every waking second. I can't help but think of it every waking second of every day. But with her fingers in my hair and my lips against hers, and my hand buried deep in her wiring, manipulating the fundamental components of everything she was with as much grace as I would handle her very life, I lay on unbreakable clouds of ecstasy. I destroyed everything I had to live out a fantasy of hedonism unmatched even in the modern day. I know I'm going to hell. I know it. But for now, just for right now, for this week, this day, this hour, this very second, of my skin on her steel as her body is intertwined into one. God, it's heaven. Wow, we're done. Holy, bro. Oh, that was so good. That's so good. I didn't realize how close I was to finishing last night. I think I would have just finished it last night if I'd noticed, if I knew. But it's so good. That was so good. Um, Dude, I fucking love this game. That was beautiful. Harvey's writing is fantastic. Um, the art was beautiful. The sound design was very good this game too. It did scare me. It is not even meant to be a horror game, but I did get jump scared at the beginning, which was very funny. Um, yeah, that was great. That was very good. It was a very smooth game. Oh my god, I don't even know what to do with myself. You know, like I'm like, bro, I can't believe we get cucked. Like either you become like a criminal on the run, and you're like just too broke and you can't even make a living out of your skills because your skills are what got you into trouble in the first place, or you become a cuck. And that's just nuts to me. Um, Dude, no one told me I was gonna get cucked this game. That's crazy. Um, yeah, I don't know if I have like super deep things to say. I feel like this game is so good, but I'm just like in shock. I don't know. Okay. Well, I didn't know I had 30 minutes of the game left. Um, so I don't really know what to do. I don't want to stream for 30 minutes only. Let's see if we can find something on itch to play, like a little short game. One second. Let's see. Maybe I have something saved. Let's see. I think I had another game I was gonna play. Um, What is this? Dude, that was a beautiful game. Holy shit. I need to do fan art for that. That was great. Let's see. I have a demo called this one actually has the word oil in it too. Um, which feels a little like what a coinkydink. You know what I'm saying? This is I'm gonna have to add this to my credits at the end of the stream. But this is a Kickstarter for Burn the Midnight Oil and not a finished product. Art, music, sound effects, and writing in this demo are all subject to change before the final game. Burn the Midnight Oil. Let me make sure. Let me see. Let me check. I'm not gonna miss any content warnings. I don't actually remember what this game's about. I have it downloaded. See. This is by Foxglove Games. Oh, I remember why I downloaded this. um, yeah, I remember why I downloaded this. Okay, you guys will see. You guys will see. It says about the game, a supernatural noir, noir, neon noir. I've never had to say the word noir with anything else in front of it. I don't think. Romance visual novel about monsters, love, and other horrors. Mm, there's a character that I'm looking forward to. There's several characters I'm looking forward to. Uh, they're so beautiful. It says play as Cersei or Dante. 6 romance routes, multiple endings. I'm assuming that the demo is not gonna be everything. Um, we recommend Burn the Midnight Oil for ages 17 and up. Specific warnings for the demo included but are not limited to depictions of addiction, body horror, violence, strong language, alcohol and drug references, suggestive content, and references to past toxic relationship dynamics. So, very similar in content warnings, kind of to the lingering taste of oil, and they both have the word oil in it. So, I want to see how much of this demo I can play today. I'm not gonna stream for very long, I don't think. But yeah, look at them, bro. Like, these are the main characters. You can play either of them. This is Cersei and this is Dante. But like, look at this art. Look at these characters. This guy's a freak. I just know it. Yeah. Oh my god. Okay. A new game. Let's play as Cersei. Oh wait. Oh, we can learn about them. Wow, this is beautiful. Personal history. For 2 decades, Cersei stalked the streets of North Haven as a private investigator. Accompanied by her sidekick Edgar, she mostly deals with trivial jobs like catching cheating spouses, finding missing pets, and slaying vampires. In recent years, Cersei's lost her passion for detective work, but the city isn't done with her just yet. When she's approached by 2 different clients looking for the same person, she decides to take on this one last case. Date of birth unknown, vampire, occupation, private investigator, maker. We don't get to get them. But like, look how pretty they are, bro. Lame. Oh, this is a guy I'm excited for. I can't do it. Hey, Dante. Date of birth, February 7th, 1953. Gemini help werewolf. Okay. Police officer. I'm not. This guy's like, I'm not a cop. What the fuck? Emergency contact Orion Walker. Okay. Personal history. Several years ago, Dante struck a deal with Orion, a former friend of his mother. Stuck in Northern Haven ever since, Dante unwillingly works as a cop. He spends his nights chasing criminals, waiting for the day when he'll finally have fulfilled his end of the deal. At last, Orion puts Dante on his final case. There's a suspicious new drug on the market he wants Dante to investigate, but the roots of this problem might be even more dangerous than they thought. Okay, before we decide who we're gonna play. Actually, okay, let's play Cersei. Cause I'm not playing a cop. Somewhere. Don't remember the month. 1966. Oh, something not quite human sits on the edge of a stranger's bed, leisurely lapping at the blood coating her fingertips, savoring her leftovers. She turns her head to stare at tonight's meal. Oh my god. This is so pretty. A handsome man currently lost inside his dreams. He wants to be certain she's not imagining the steady rise and fall of his chest. The last thing she needs is a trail of bodies leading them to her. But even the imprints of her teeth on his fair skin have already faded. When he wakes up tomorrow, his memories of the entire night, of her too, will be gone. He'll go on with his life like he never met her. He'll get married, have a kid or two, grow old, die. She'll remember him for a while, but she won't be sad about it, or miss him, or ever ponder what could have been. He's not the first Mio whose bed she seduced herself into, and he could never be the last. Cersei, so pretty. Her eyes trace the stranger's features one last time, searching in vain for a different face. His face. Before your humanity was stolen from you, you could have been anything like this man. Could you have been anything like this man? Or have you always worn your penchant for destruction with unbridled pride? When the stranger stirs in his sleep, she accepts she won't find whatever she is looking for here. The time has come to part ways. Sweet dreams, Arthur. At least she thinks that was at least she thinks that was his name. She's like, I don't even fucking remember, bro. I don't remember this guy. Okay, sure, the marks of the teeth marks are gonna be gone. Like, he's not gonna remember her. But he's gonna wake up covered in blood on his neck. Is he not gonna be like, hello? That said maker, but it was scratched out. It is midnight, and I am writing to you from yet another city whose name I couldn't be bothered to learn. I'm not sure what day it is, or how long it's been since I bid you goodbye for the last time. Maybe it's been days, maybe it's been weeks, maybe it's even been years. Since your death, I haven't had anywhere to call home. I only stay in one place long enough to take shelter while the sun is out, and then I'm back on the prowl. It's mostly men. I desperately want them to remind me of you, even though none of them look anything like you. You I knew. Fuck. I desperately want them to remind me of you, even though none of them look anything like the you I knew. Living or dead, I suspect no one will ever remind me of you. I should probably be grateful for that, shouldn't I? Maker. I have taken to hunting every night just to keep sane, but I don't think it's working. I fear I might have lost my mind long ago without noticing. At least I don't think I'm making things worse. At least I'm keeping busy, which means I have less time to think. That's a good thing. If I think too hard or too long, I'll start thinking of you. I make bad decisions when I think of you. Maker. Remember how you always used to say that creatures like us weren't made for the rules? I always disagreed, but only out of spite. We both knew you were right. I hate being told what to do. I hate it so much. I'll fuck everything up for myself just to do the opposite. I miss it now, though. If you were here, I wouldn't have these doubts. I wouldn't have to worry about right or wrong. You would make all the decisions. You alone would be responsible for the terrible, terrible consequences of our actions. Without you, I find that I'm no longer just lonely. I'm alone. You promised me even death could never part us. So why didn't you take me with you? Shit. He slinks away from the crowd, seeking shelter in the shadows of the nearest alleyway. Shit. So this is it? All those years lead to this? She's still doing the exact same bullshit she used to do when she was trailing after him, only now she's doing it alone. And to what end? What is the point of living like this? Oh, can you even call this living? What? He almost doesn't dare say it. What if I just ended it? He's already died once. Her second death doesn't even have to count. Some might call it suicide, but Cersei gave up on heaven a long time ago. If such a place even exists, she was barred from entry many murders ago. All things must end someday anyway. Perhaps it is my turn now. The thought brings her a strange sense of peace. She slows her heart down, leans her head back against the brick wall, and just listens. She hears traffic. She hears laughter. She hears music. She hears her colleague. She hears colleagues stumbling to the next bar, arguing over who owes the next round. She hears couples spilling out of the cinema, giggling and necking, or whatever couples do. Dude, that's such a funny way to show how old she is because I have not heard the term necking in so long. If she really, really strains her ears, she can even hear a couple of homeless drunks laughing their asses off over a joke that definitely doesn't deserve such unfiltered glee. It all sounds like life. Fuck. 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 all these years. All these years. And she's ready to kick the bucket because. Because what? Because he's gone? She can't even make it a year without him? How is it fair? It's not. It's not fair at all. It's stupid, it's stupid, it's stupid. And worst of all, it's humiliating. She's mourned enough, doubted her decisions enough. She wants to live, so she's going to live. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. She'll keep going out of pure fucking spite if that's what it takes. Something drives through her chest, narrowly missing her undead heart. Whoa, did we just get stabbed? Thump, 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 thump. There's a heartbeat, beating so violently it has to hurt. It takes her longer than it should to remember that it can't be hers. Whoa! You're cute. You look like you're part of the Beatles, bro. Her eyes shift from the improvised stake in her chest to the man responsible for it. Perhaps he's more boy than man. He can't be a lot older than she was when she changed. Not that any of that matters right now. A stake to the heart. How medieval of you. The man, boy, doesn't respond. He's busy watching in horror as she rips the stake out of her chest. She doesn't flinch at the pain. It's there, like an incessant little bug, but it doesn't really hurt. It never does anymore. If I may offer you some advice, the next time you try to murder one of us, don't bother with the classics. Processed garlic, all that nonsense, none of it works. Except the sun. She's not stupid, so she's omitting that part. Don't be afraid. She takes a step forward. He's trembling now, but still not a word. You're the one who tried to kill me. Shouldn't I be the one to fear you? She catches her right hand before it touches his face. She hadn't even realized she was reaching for him. It's a bad habit of hers. She's always so cold, so she's always reaching for warmth. Why don't we play a game? Why don't you guess what can kill me? She doesn't like the silence. She wants to make him talk. If you get it right, I'll even reward you. Generous, no? More silence. This isn't some trick. I find you vaguely entertaining, so I intend to let you keep your life either way. Still silent. She stomps her foot, frustration seeping through. You're not gonna talk to me at all? He's not even meeting her eyes anymore. He follows his gaze downwards. Ugh, men. Interesting choice of priorities. Checking out my booze at a time like this. What? No, that's vile. I would never do that. Hello? Why is that when you lock the fuck in? Okay, in what way are we saying vile here? Are you saying, no, that's misogynistic and I would never be misogynistic? Or are you saying, no, I'm a misogynistic gay man and I think boobs are gross. Oh, now I'm offended. What's wrong with my boobs? Nothing. I think. I mean, I wouldn't know because I wasn't looking at your chest area. I'm not that kind of man. Okay, good. Then what kind of man are you? He ignores the question. I was looking at that. He gestures wildly to the hole in her chest. Oh. Or rather, where the hole used to be, less than a minute ago. It's already healed, like it was never there. Another reason luck isn't on your side tonight. I just fed. What? I just fed? So I heal faster. The blank, stupid look on his face is oddly endearing. Do you know nothing about biology, idiot? What did you say to me? I called you an idiot. Would you like me to repeat that? He whips out a knife. She already knew he was hiding in the pocket of his coat. Don't patronize me. He points the blade at her. Or call me an idiot. If you behave like an idiot, I'm gonna call you an idiot. Simply smarten up if it bothers you. I lost the voice. Fuck. You think I care what you think of me, you leech? Evidently. You're not particularly good at hiding your thoughts. Why are you dragging this out? I'll never beg a vampire for my life if that's what you're waiting for. So just kill me and be done with this already. I don't know how to make a sound. I don't know. She sort of, kind of, not really tries to stifle her laugh. It pisses him off even more. I don't know. What's so funny? Sorry. It's just your accent. I only realized it's so British. Wait, I want to be British. I don't know how to do a British accent. Welcome to North Haven, England. I'm gonna offend somebody. Quite literally everyone talks like this. No, I can't do it. I'm sorry. I don't know how to do accents. Oh, so that's where we are? She looks around, taking in her surroundings for the first time. She's not sure how she got here. It doesn't matter anymore, does it? She's here now. You're not from here. And what gave it away? Your accent. Are you American? When it's convenient. One second. Suppose it doesn't matter where you come from. You still fit in perfectly with the other bloodthirsty freaks in this city. Huh. You amused me. I definitely can't kill you now. Why not? Why? You almost sound disappointed. Of course not. But it doesn't matter what I want. You should do it anyway. Why? Because we both can't walk away from this. It doesn't work that way. Says who? He rolls his eyes. How about this? If you don't kill me first, I'm gonna stab you in the back as you walk away. With that silly little kitchen knife, I've seen babies with stronger grips on their toys than you've got on that. His grips loosens. Meanwhile, I could kill you with minimal effort. Right here, right now. I could snap your skinny little neck with my bare hands and not even break a sweat. Not even break a neck. Only, that wouldn't be very fun, now would it? I don't kill as often as you may think, so I like to take pleasure in it when I do. Just make it slow, slice your neck, but keep the cut shallow enough that I have to suck the blood out. I prefer to drink straight from the tap, you see, more intimate that way. Once I've drained you, I'll dump your corpse behind one of these bins and skip town. By the time someone finds you, I'll be long gone. No one will even know I was here. He lowers his knife, averting his eyes to stare at nothing in particular. Do what you want. There's no one left who would care enough to try and find me anyway. She recognizes the frustration in his eyes all too well. She's seen it countless times in her own reflection. 1 second. I keep forgetting. I think the music is a little too loud. Wait, this is so cool. I like this menu. Does that change how it fits for you guys? 1 second. There we go. She recognizes the frustration in his eyes all too well. She's seen it countless times in her own reflection. Monsters took someone from him, just like a monster once took someone from her. Well, no one will have to. As I keep saying, I'm not going to kill you. He hurries to object, but she lifts a finger, and that's enough to shut him up. You can't kill me. You're bold, I will give you that. But I don't think you could even kill the weakest of us. You're not strong enough. And that's not an insult or a slight against your ego or an attempt at undermining you. It is simple fact. You are too weak. Don't you think you're underestimating me a little too much? No, I see you exactly as you are. You're no threat to me. You're no threat to anyone. You want revenge, but for whatever reason, you can't kill the one you actually want dead. So you poured all your resentment into the first vampire you could find. Me, apparently. Maybe you thought I'd be an easy kill. Maybe you really thought you could do it. But if I had to guess, I think you knew you would fail. I think you wanted to die. I imagine you've changed your mind by now, staring death in the face. You're no longer so tough. Still, your pride prevails. So even if anything I just said happened to be the truth, you'd never admit to it. Would you? He drops the knife to the ground and Cersei knows she's got him. He's not weak because he feels fear, or because he still looks at her like she's a person deserving of empathy, or worse, sympathy. He's weak because he was born that way. Cersei was much stronger when she met the one who made her. Her maker. Ooh, what is that? Maker, the creator of another vampire. It is the duty of the vampire's creator to mentor their apprentice, but this transition isn't always followed by the clanless. Vampires abandoned by the creators are often at a disadvantage in the world, especially in vampiric society. Ooh, okay. Her maker had spent an eternity mastering the art of pretending to be something he'd never be again. And yet, when she laid eyes on him, she'd still seen what he really was. A monster. But even knowing that, she'd still lost to him. She'd still been too weak. Not anymore, though. If you'd like, I could teach you. Seeing his confusion, she elaborates. How to kill vampires, I mean. You would teach me how to kill your own kind? Yeah, why not? No matter how much of an idiot you think I am, you surely don't think I'd believe that's a genuine offer. Your kind prey on the weak, but you're loyal to your own. Even I know that much. He's not wrong. Contrary to popular belief, most vampires are social creatures. They thrive when they are together. In theory, at least. Reality is more complicated. It's frowned upon, I know, but I don't mind offending people. As a matter of fact, it might just be my favorite pastime. So it's not just me, you're insufferable with everyone. How dare you? But yes, I am. She offers a hand with a smile far too dangerous for anyone's sensible trust. What do you say? Do we have a deal? Only an idiot would strike a deal with the devil like you. Or someone moderately desperate. A moderately desperate idiot then. Fine, he takes her hand. She bites back a grin. Ah, before I forget, what's your name? Edgar James Thorne. That sounds so pretentious. I'm just gonna call you Eddie, okay? If you must. What about you? What's your name? If I told you, would you even use it? Well, yes. That's what people do, isn't it? Call each other by one's names. It's been a while since anyone has used her name, but she supposed it would be rude to withhold it from him now. They call me Cersei. So may you. His grip on her hands tightened. His grip on her hand tightens. I want to ask you something, Cersei. Yes? When you taught me all that you can, what's gonna stop me from killing you? She allows herself to grin now, showing him all her teeth. Nothing but your own compassion. I was trying to mute so I could eat that chip, and I just looked at my mic and it wasn't muted, so if that was really loud, I'm sorry. My bad. North Haven, 1986. Finding Elysium isn't difficult. The dark doesn't bother Cersei in the way it might others. Even if it did, she's navigated these tunnels enough times to remember each step. Okay, so it's been like 20 years, right? If I remember correctly. It's getting inside that poses some trouble. It wasn't always such a hassle. Cersei was once a regular at Elysium, cautiously welcomed by its patron because of her relationship with Lazarus. Ooh, Lazarus, the founder of Elysium. Lazarus is a gifted vampire, but the specifics of his powers are an open secret few dare to mention to his face. Despite his penchant for dramatics and his infamous reputation as a hedonistic drunkard, excuse me, Lazarus is still deeply beloved by his patrons, who teasingly refer to him as their prince. Lazarus also happens to be the only boyfriend Cersei's ever had. When their tumultuous relationship ended some years ago, Lazarus didn't take it very well and indefinitely banned Cersei from Elysium. Rumor has it the two have been acquainted since long before they ever stepped foot in North Haven. Monikers, Prince of Elysium, blast, asshole, dickhead, etc., etc. That's funny. It's been 6 years or so now, and she's been warned to never show her face here again. Of course, that flimsy ban has never stopped her before, nor will it stop her tonight. The bouncer, standing guard, cut straight to the point. Should I try to do a voice for this? Chat, will you make fun of me if this sucks? Okay. I'm gonna go as deep as I can. I can't. Hold on. Since you managed to find your way here, I take it you got an invite? Dude, I can't go any deeper than that. It's not a question. Lazarus paid a pretty penny for the spells to ensure only those with the invitation will ever reach Elysium. Fortunately for Cersei, no one remembered to amend those spells when she was banned. Oh, don't you recognize me? Should I? Yes. But, given that she doesn't recognize him either, he's probably new. Lucky me. What do they call you? Vampire names. When a vampire is born, their maker, sometimes their clan, will grant them a new name. It is not only a sign that they have been reborn, but it's also a symbol that they have been embraced by their new kin. Of course, there have been exceptions, instances where a vampire's creator has allowed them to choose their own name. However, it would most likely be assumed that your kin has decided not to accept you as one of their own. When a vampire is asking for their name, it is customary to ask, "What do they call you?" or "What do they know you as?" This tradition isn't followed as closely by non-vampires or vampires outside the clan, but in certain circles, it is a significant of faux pas to not do it this way. Okay. Interesting. You might not recognize her, but he's he'll definitely have been warned of her name. She thinks quickly. Donna. It is not going to be on the list, but it doesn't need to be. That's what her talent is for. Oh, we're getting so much information. This is so cool. Also, I really like the glossary setting. Talents and gifts. Gifts are innate powers passed down from generation to generation through vampiric bloodlines. The further away you are from the primordials, the original line of vampires, the weaker your gift will be. Most modern vampires do not have a gift, making it a symbol of status to have one, even though some gifts might arguably be more a curse than a blessing. Talents are abilities nearly every vampire can learn, but only if the ability is taught to them by another vampire. Different clans have hoarded different talents for several generations. They are very defensive of the ones they have collected, determined to protect their secrets from other clans and clanless vampires. This world building is so cool. Donna. He flips to the guest list till he hits the bottom of the last page. Yeah, no Donna. He takes a more aggressive stance, but it's all bravado. He reeks of insecurity. Oh, okay. Can I save? Save here before we go. Oh, look, you can. Oh, that's cool. Okay. Can I save here? Please use Cersei's. That was fun. Okay. Let's. Um. Dude, Cersei's fine as fuck. I feel like seducing him would be easy. You know what I'm saying? Let's seduce him. Oh. Tadashi might be a personal favorite of hers, but the method is a hit or miss when it comes to other vampires. Most vamps don't share her appetite for casual sex. Most simply can't be bothered. Without enough blood in your system, it gets quite dead down there. Oh. I should intimidate or persuade him. It's a safer bet. Oh. Oh, this is like a tutorial. Okay, let's see. Let's persuade him. Huh. Well, of course I'm not gonna be on that list. I'm not one of your every night patrons. I've been personally invited by your boss. The bouncer shuffles his feet, red eyes running over her form. Yeah, I'm sure they do. When Cersei smiles, he nervously smiles back. You're certainly his type. That's funny, bro. Imagine if like every vampire he's dated after her like looks like her. Still, I can't let you in. I can't let you in on your word alone. If you wait here, I'll confirm with Nisha. Nisha, Elysian's manager as well as Lazarus' right-hand woman. She may only be human, but her street smarts have earned her the reluctant respect of Elysium's patrons. For the right price, he would sometimes sell us information, but nothing that would ever jeopardize the future of Elysium. Some of Elysium's patrons like to speculate that Nisha and Lazarus are secretly lovers, but anyone who actually knows them knows that that is no more than hogwash. Nisha is like a sister to Lazarus. They bicker often, but he trusts her more than he trusts himself. Cersei rests a hand on his bare forearm, leaning forward with a dangerous grin. You should trust me. I have no reason to lie to you. Right? Right. That was easy. Compulsion isn't mind control. Oh. Compulsion, a vampiric ability that allows one to induce the others to follow their will. Depending on the vampire's strength and the strength or weaknesses of the target's willpower, the vampire could theoretically convince the target to act or think in a way they think in any way. Wait, fuck. The vampire could theoretically convince the target to act or think any way they want. The effect is temporary, but consistent long-term exposure to compulsion may cause permanent personality or behavioral changes. Out of all the vampiric talents, compulsion might just be the most powerful, as well as one of the most easily abused. Clans carefully hoard the ability, allowing only the oldest members to learn and practice it. In the hands of most practiced vampires, compulsion might be one one of the closest powers to mind control. However, this kind of progress demands a natural inclination as well as decades, if not centuries, of study. Okay. Compulsion isn't mind control. She can't force people to entirely transgress their own nature. It simply sways people in certain directions. Different methods, seduction, intimidation, persuasion, work differently on different people. The weaker the will, the farther she can push them. With enough practice and the right target, you could convince someone to do almost anything. Now, may I come in? What? Oh, yeah, of course you can. He shakes his head, still in a daze, and steps inside. Sorry about that. We'll get it sorted with Nisha so you're on the list next time. How sweet of you. And just like that, she's in. Elysium, the only sanctuary in the city for creatures of the night. Since the 70s, Elysium's been an Epicurean haven for vamps to gather and feast without repercussions. Never had to say that word aloud. Donors. That's what they call humans selling their blood here. Donors. How the vampires in Elysium refer to human staff who consensually donate blood to them. Some donors do it for money or in hopes of one day becoming vampires themselves, but most of them simply find it to be a pleasurable experience. There are so many settings with this premise where there's consensual human blood bags to get off on being used that way. And I'm gonna be honest, same. I feel yeah, if it made me good money, also that'd be a bonus. You know what I'm saying? Some of them are natural masochists, taking pleasure in being fed on. Others are only here to make some good money. Most are here for both, and a select few loonies come here with dreams of one day becoming vampires themselves. You know, I think I would also be But to my knowledge, few, if any, have yet had the honor of experiencing the change. The change. The act of a vampire bestowing vampirism upon a mortal. Those who have experienced it themselves said it is the most pleasurable. It is both the most pleasurable and painful experience one could ever have. Like a newborn, fledglings have only two immediate desires: to be embraced by their maker and to feed the hunger, alternatively known as the first death. This is very typical vampirism stuff, but I'm enjoying it. It feels cool, and I really like the character design. It's been a year. Oh, sorry. It's been nearly a year since Cersei last stepped foot in Elysium. One quick look around promptly reminds her why she's been avoiding the hellhole. Dude, she looks annoyed as fuck. That's so funny. Nothing's changed. Everything's exactly the same. Cersei inhales. Her still lungs breathe in the irresistible, flickering scent of blood. The familiarity should comfort her. In a city that's rapidly changing, more so now than ever, Elysium's been one of her only constants. But it gets so damn boring. Among the 40 to 50 something vamps who permanently reside in North Haven, Cersei can count on one hand which ones aren't regulars at Elysium. They're a tiny group who come here night after night to dance, drink, and smooch. And as for what brings Cersei herself here tonight, the same reason she always comes to Elysium. She's looking for someone. Let's see. She double checks She double checks the picture the client provided. It's an old photograph. A blonde guy, cute enough if you're in his age group. Dude, the fucking like calls to her being old as hell is so funny. A blonde guy, cute enough if you're in his age group, with baby blue eyes and a smile that's up to no good. So not my type. Basically, I'm looking for a license. 1 second. Basically, I'm looking for a less alive version of this guy. Cool. She scans the dance floor for a mop of blonde curls, but there is no one. Either intel was off, or he's not here yet. Or like most of us, he's taking on a different look in his new life. It's annoying they don't have a more recent picture, but this is what the client offered, and Edgar couldn't find anything more recent. For now, she should find someone who might have a better idea of where she can find him. Question: should I find Nisha or Lazarus for that? Okay, so Nisha's the manager, so I'm assuming she's like keeping an eye on things. And Lazarus is our ex. So let's avoid him for now. Just because if I feel like if Nisha sees us, she at least has to go tell Lazarus we're here so we can prolong getting kicked out. Lazarus may have founded Elysium, but it's his right hand who runs this place. Yeah, that's what I felt like. I feel like most owners aren't actually running anything. They're just like, they have a manager. As a human, Nisha hadn't been a popular choice for the job. She fought hard to earn the patron's respect. Now everyone, human or vampire, in Elysium turns to Nisha when they've got a problem. And everyone who messes with Elysium's equilibrium will also have to answer to her wrath. I'll have to talk to her if I want to get anything done. Ignoring the urge to make the objectively worst decision, Cersei goes looking for Nisha. It doesn't take long to find her. She's at her favorite spot, leaned back against the bar, a cig hanging haphazardly from her red lips. The way her eyes curve in amusement when she spots Cersei says more than words ever could. Is that who I think it is? Welcome back from the dead, babe. I wouldn't call Nisha a friend, but we do get along. It helps that Nisha's a businesswoman. Though her loyalties will always be to Lazarus and Elysium, Nisha appreciates making a little extra on the side when she can. Only instead of selling her own blood, she sells information. That makes her more valuable to Cersei than any donor could ever be. Miss me? I guess. It does get pretty dead around here without you. No pun intended. She puts out her cig on the bar counter. Where have you been this shit past year already? Let's tell the truth. Ignoring how Nisha's obviously been keeping tabs on her. After all, it is her job to track potential patrons and threads. Cersei elects to play nonchalant. Been lazy lately. I studied to accept fewer cases for a while. That's a shame. I thought you were one of the lucky... That's a shame. Thought you were one of the lucky few to actually enjoy your job. So did I. I take it you still enjoy yours? Most nights. Anyway, who say you're only allowed to break the ban when you got shit to do? You could just show up here for fun. A couple of years ago, Cersei might have agreed with her. But now, messing with Lazarus and his ridiculous ban isn't just as fun as it used to be. Maybe because I've been doing it for 6 years straight. Honestly, the bigger surprise is I didn't get bored of it sooner. You should really be encouraging me. Should you really be encouraging me to break the rules? Probably not. But who's gonna tell? Isha tips her head towards the bar. How about a drink before you share what brings you here? My treat. I'm good. You're turning down a free drink? I'm not thirsty. Isha smiles like he doesn't believe her, and she would be right not to. The thirst is never fully satisfied. Fortunately, Nisha's a lot more respectful of boundaries than Cersei's ever been, so she knows not to push it. If you don't mind, if I make myself one, do you? Be my guest. Nisha slips behind the counter, playfully checking the bartender on service to make more space for her. The bartender shakes her head at her with a smile. Nisha, trying to steal my job again? Work harder and I won't be able to. Who's this? Oh, right. Dude, means Cersei. Cersei, this is a young vampire who works at Elysium. Jude mostly bartends these nights, but they also work as one of Nisha's many years inside and outside of Elysium. Before Jude became a vampire, they used to be a donor. One of the lucky ones that made the dream come true. Actually, I don't think I care. But you just you know what? Never mind. Jude looks more amused than offended, bro. So you're the one they call Cersei. Wait, wrong voice. Oh yeah, dude. I don't remember what way to get him. So you're the one they call... Fuck! So you're the one they call Cersei. Weren't you banned forever? No one actually cares about that. Except maybe Lazarus, depending on his mood. Weren't they all British? Whatever. And why do you continue to make it a pain in the ass for me every time I visit? Does it matter? You always find a way in, don't you? No thanks to you. Cersei eyes Jude, who's watching their interaction with strange interest. You're new. Sort of. Dude, you said? Yeah. Like a song? Their skin can't flush, but they still look bashful. Like the song. Cersei's attention returns to Nisha. Laya, there's so many new faces. First the bouncer, now this one. Jude isn't new. They've worked here for quite a while now. Used to be a donor, actually. Cersei doesn't bother with hiding her surprise. Lazarus actually changed one of them? No, not Lazarus. Not directly, at least. Another vampire passing through town lost control of his hunger. Drank too much. You know how it goes. The hunger refers to the insatiable desire a vampire has for blood. It is a need as much as it is a want. Failing to keep one's hunger in check tends to have lethal consequences. The alternative term's the thirst. Wait, this music feels too loud again, but I swear I lowered it. Okay. Lazarus made him change me. Nisha's frowning, but then she notices Cersei's watching her and fakes a smile. He saved her life. He did. He really did. More like he ruined it. You wouldn't have been in this situation in the first place if Lazarus hadn't hired you. What happened to the one who made you? Nisha answers for them again. Oh, he's dead. Like, dead. Good riddance. I suppose congratulations are in order, Jude. You survived your fangling year. Fangling, a slang term used to refer to newborn vampires. After a year has passed, given that the vampire didn't get themselves killed in one way or another, they will no longer be considered a fangling. That's funny. It was an interesting experience. Your first year after the change is never easy, but under the right guidance, it's manageable. Jude may have not had the first mark. Oh, Jude may have not had their first. Oh my god. Hello, I can't read this. Jude may have had. Made. Oh. Yo, this sentence is beating my ass. Jude may not have had their maker by their side, but the Elysium vamps still look out for each other, as long as it's convenient. It's nice to meet you at last. Lazarus talks about you so much. I've always felt like I already knew you. Oh yeah? What has he been saying? Nothing nice. The other night he went on a rant about you for hours. Said that in almost 200 years of unlife, you're the worst bat he's ever met. Lazarus needs to practice his insults if that's the best he got. I'm disappointed. Oh, he said far worse. I just don't think it's polite to repeat. That's just how he expresses his affection. He's a sentimental soul. I think that's enough shit stirring for the one night, dude. Get back to work. Yes, ma'am. Jude spares Cersei one last glance and a brief smile. And then it's only her and Nisha again. Nice kid. They're older than you in mortal years. Like I said, nice kid. Nisha's eyes never leave the drink she's mixing, but Cersei still feels watched. So if you're not here to keep me company, why are you here? I'm looking for someone. You'll have to be a little more specific. Cersei holds up the target's photo for Nisha to see. He's a fangling. I don't know what they call him. But our clients say he's been lurking around Elysium for the past couple nights. I'm hoping I'll find him here tonight too. Nisha isn't even looking. Cersei pushes. Recognize him? No one sets a foot inside Elysium without Nisha knowing. Nisha knows Cersei knows that, which is why they both know it's total bullshit when Nisha barely glances at the picture before she shrugs. What's like that? To a penny in North Haven? What makes you think I would remember? Here we go. Unless you got something to help me? Unless you got something to help remind me? You only get greedier and greedier. Thankfully, greed is easy to work with. Cersei slides a few pounds over the counter. These are not Southern people. I don't know why I hit bar and I was like, yeah, that's Texan. I don't. Listen, guys. It's these fuck-ass voices or me trying to do a British accent. Pick your poison. Cersei slides a few pounds over the counter. Nisha is quick to tuck it away inside her pocket. Suddenly, she's got a bounty of information to share. They call him Seth, and your intel's not wrong. He's a fangling, and a fairly fresh one too. Maybe a couple of weeks dead, give or take. A fangling who showed up in North Haven recently and has already built up an unsavory reputation. An anonymous client paid Thorne Investigations to slay him for unknown reasons. He has no one. Whoever made him, they're no longer in the picture, which doesn't spell great odds for him in this world. He's only been here twice before, but he should be here tonight, unless he's too scared. Why would he be scared? He's been on trial so far. If he wants to stay on the list, he needs to start paying. But without a job, or someone to sponsor his undead life, well, let's just say his options for gathering enough money aren't exactly legal. Not that we care how he earns his keep, as long as it doesn't bring us any unwanted attention. But now that you're after him, I guess I can forget all about that. He definitely won't be able to pay after you're done with him. I'd say I'm sorry, but you're not. I know. Isha strains her drink into a chilled martini glass. Can I ask what he did? I'm sure you already know. I pretend you don't. Nisha sips her drink. Cersei waits. If I let you do this, I don't need your permission. Nisha rolls her eyes. Fine, you're right. I do know Seth's a piece of shit and doesn't deserve to exist. But most of Elysium's clientele, including yourself once upon a time, are pieces of shit who should be dead. That doesn't mean you can kill all of them. I'm only allowing it this time because Seth is a regular piece of shit. He's a piece of shit whose body count is gonna lead pigs to our doors. And I really, really don't want to see Orion's holier than thou mug more than I absolutely have to. Okay, Orion is the guy who Dante has a deal with, right? We read that earlier. My fucking southern accent is fucking sticking. Kill me. Alright. An inspector in the supernatural crime division, making him Dante and Raoul's superior officer. Despite being a vampire, Orion has a human family. Both his wife and his daughter are aware of his identity and his job. Officially, Orion's daughter Alice is adopted and not his biological vampire. Oh, not his biological child. Vampires shouldn't be able to have children, making Alice a miracle that has to be kept a secret. If her identity gets out, it might catch the attention of questionable people. Perhaps it is because of this similarity that Orion finds it difficult not to constantly worry about Dante. Okay. So this is the Twilight family, right? Like they're not supposed to be able to have babies, but for some reason she's pregnant. Or she had a child. And I'm assuming Alice didn't show any vampirism. Or they would have mentioned it. Maybe. I don't know. But that's interesting. Sorry, I wanted a chip. So whatever you're planning to do to Seth, spare me the gory details. The less I know, the better for both of us. Go ahead. Just don't do it anywhere near Elysium. We have a zero tolerance policy towards violence between vamps here, in case you forgot. How's that going for you, by the way? Just asking, since your zero tolerance policy towards me has hardly been enforced. You're already banned. What are we supposed to do? Ban you again? You could unban me. If you're not gonna put any real effort into keeping me out. Nisha attempts a weary smile, but ends up sighing instead. You act like it was my decision. Oh, right. I almost forgot. No matter how much you like to pretend otherwise, you're still Laz's little minion. Fuck off. You don't even like it in here, babe. Every time you come, all you do is complain. And you should know better than to take this personally. You tainted him. You know what Lazarus is like. The southern accent is slipping and something else is happening. I'm scared. Love and hate, romance and violence, making love and fucking. It's all the same to that beautiful messed up mind fizz. Another sip of her drink. And for what it's worth, he really does miss you. Meanwhile, I couldn't be happier to be rid of him. Nisha sighs again, more amused and annoyed this time. Is it because your kind has too much time on their hands that you waste so much of it? I guess you'll find out on your own. Assuming things go the way you want them to. Nisha drops the grin. She wants to be one of them. She's never dared to say it out loud. At least not to Cersei, but it's obvious to anyone who pays enough attention. Now, personally, I would never wish to change upon anyone, not even my worst enemy. But every now and then, I'll meet someone who thrives in the night, someone who might as well have been born one of us. He's just exactly like that. Wait, I'm getting a phone call, chat. Be right back. Alright, I'm back. Sorry, Jack. Let's see. But Cersei will never change her unless Lazarus permits it. Neither neither will any of the other vampires that hang out in Elysium. Leisha's only chance is Lazarus. We'll see how that turns out for her. Speaking from experience, he loves to disappoint. Back to the Fangling. You keep an eye out for him. Please. Pretty please? Alright. I'll even send him your way if I see him. In return, you'll make sure he's dealt with far away from here. Deal? Sure. I'm serious, Cersei. Unless you want Lazarus to learn of our little partnership. Cersei couldn't care less if Lazarus learns that Nisha's been working with her detective agency for years now. It's not her who's gonna get in trouble. It'll be Nisha, his right hand, who gave away intel on his clients at the club. It'd be inconvenient to lose our best informant. Also, Eddie would nag about it for nights. I'll be discreet. Don't worry. That's all I ask. Not much time passes before one of Elysium's goons notifies Cersei of the Fangling's arrival. It looks like Nisha's fulfilled her end of the bargain. Now it's Cersei's turn. Moments later, Cersei finds Seth loitering near the stage. She was right to assume that he's changed since the photograph. He's at least a few years older, though still young enough to have just graduated university. He shaved off the baby fat and growed a mediocre mustache, but the cheeky smile he shoots her way is identical to the one in the picture. For a split second, Cersei hesitates. He still looks so young. So full of life even after death. Then she remembers what he's done. She remembers the women he's hurt. She remembers he deserves this. Hey! He's grinning from year to year, a little too brightly for someone who's supposed to be dead, as she closes in. Well, hello there. What do they call you? Doesn't matter. You're welcome to call me whatever you want. Really? Typical of a Fangling, Death is a slave to his own impulses. Perhaps he's merely deferring to her as an older vampire, or he simply can't help his excitement at a woman showing interest in him first. Either way, she smiles, deciding there's no point in wasting time. Seduction has always come easiest for her. You should come somewhere with me. Somewhere more private. Seth lunges at the opportunity without reservation. Sure. When? I can go anytime. Now? Where's who? She had to discuss behind a well-timed giggle. Come with me. She slips a hand into his and guides the overly eager vamp to the crowd. Alright, bring in to murder him, folks. Womp womp. The bouncer who almost didn't let her in earlier still guards the entrance. He doesn't say anything when he sees them, simply watching as they disappear down the dark tunnel. When they get out of the tunnels, Cersei leads Seth through the streets with confidence, knowing exactly where to bring him. It's where I met Eddie for the first time 20 years ago. I spared his life that night. I'd have ended many lives since to make up for it. Wait, what? I definitely misread that. Let me see. History? I spared his life that night, but I've ended many lives since. Yeah, okay, I read it right actually. Why was I so confident that I messed that up? I got that. Seth doesn't shut up once. I've never been with a vamp before. Is it better if sex with humans? Shouldn't we get some blood first? He enjoys the sound of his voice too much. Not even once does he question her silence. Oh, we're back here. Cersei stops at the end of the dingy alleyway, far away enough from Elysium to maintain her end of the deal. Seth looks around with a frown. You want to do this here? Wouldn't a nice girl like you prefer a hotel? Not a girl. Oh, wait, what does that mean? Oh, woman, probably, right? She doesn't like... She very often refers to... Oh, look, there's a poster for Elysium right here. She often refers to herself as, like, old. So maybe she just doesn't like being called a girl. Seth's jaw drops stupidly. You mean? I was referring to my age. Oh, yeah, of course not. I'm sure you're experienced. Anyway, I'd invite you back to mine, but I don't have a place yet. Just rolled into North Haven the other night. Still getting my shit sorted out. Haha, haha, bro. Okay, it was a nervous laugh. She ignores him, letting him laugh nervously to himself while she looks around, checking there's no junkies or creeps hiding around the corner. Seems it's just dudes here. And he's back to being excited. Oh! I'm not! I can't read that, Jay. I'm scared. I can't read that. Okay. Guys, I miss playing horror games. I can't. What? Every game I've read today has been so sexual, bro. Okay, let's see. Sorry. Okay. Oh, you dirty girl. You got a kink for doing it outside, yeah? Ew. No, genuinely. Oh, fuck. You picked a great spot then. No way anyone will find us here. As long as we're on the same page. She lunges for him, grabbing him by the throat and shoving him up against the wall. He doesn't need air to survive, but he's forgotten that in his panic. He gasps desperately, clawing at the hand wrapped tight around his neck. Cersei stares into his eyes the entire time. He doesn't want to miss the moment the fight leaves him, the moment he realizes he doesn't stand a chance. She's older. She's stronger. He's going to kill him. She's going to fucking kill him. Please. She only notices he's crying when a stray tear hits her skin. Typical. When threats don't work, they always resort to begging. Please don't. Please, I don't know what I've done to piss you off, but... She can feel the joy seeping out of her as Seth's cries grows louder. Crying grows louder. She forgot how annoying it can be to kill fanglings. They're too sensitive. Whether it's pain or pleasure, they feel everything too strongly. That's why they don't last long without older vampires who guide them in their first year. Leave them to their own antics, and they'll fuck like rabbits and die like cattle. Why are you doing this to me? Quit wailing, and I'll get to that part. It's a little hard not to wail when you're about to kill me, but sure, I'll be bloody quiet. She lifts her chin, daring him to speak another word. I'm waiting. Perfect. Listen, I think we both can agree. You've been stupid. Least you could have done is been more careful with where you take your meals. Naughtiness, money sheep from the same pen. Then maybe no one would have noticed. But no, on top of that, you were chilled enough to play with your food and leave evidence behind. You see the exact moments her words start to seep into his dumb little brain. The games you like weren't very fun for your playmates, were they? Of course you liked it when they didn't like it, didn't you? That's what it's about. They were fucking into it. And you talk like I've been touching them. I haven't. I never said that. I'm not sick. My mom taught me better. I see. But she warned you not to stick your dick where it's unwanted, but she forgot to tell you not to eat people. Don't bother denying it. You torture them, Seth. You snack on their flesh while they still breathe. So what if I like to steal a bite? Their blood is good enough to drink, but their flesh is too dirty for us? Every vampire's tried meat once. Yes, even you. I bloody know you have. And like I already told you, they fucking enjoyed it. Her fingers twitch, her grip on his throat threatening to tighten. Did they tell you that before, or after you trained and defiled them? I'd asked them personally, but last I checked, the dead don't talk. Well, with the exception of us. Why does that even matter? Are we the same? Aren't we? Then you should know it isn't fair to judge me. We're fucking vampires, apex predators, top of the food chain. Who cares what happens to the cattle? God, can you get any more cliche? See, that's the problem with vampires like yourself. You have no regard for consequences. You think that just because you can, you should. Let me clue you on a little secret. She squeezes hard, strangling him. You shouldn't have. Release him. You've got to be kidding me. Release him. I will not repeat myself. There's only one vampire in this. There's only one vampire in the city who would dare order Cersei around like that. Hey, I love white hair. White hair is so good. I love white hair. Abraxas, captain of the SSF's North Haven branch, the lone vampire on his team. His agents respect him as leader, but his loyalty to the SSF has made him popular with local supernaturals. Rumor has it that Abraxas once lived as an aristocrat, and he still owns a mansion somewhere in the outskirts of North Haven. He has declined to comment. This is your final warning, Miss Cersei. I strongly recommend you heed it. I heard you the first time, Abraxas, but I'm not one of your lapdogs. You should ask nicely if you want me to do something for you. As if playing nice with you has ever done anyone any good. How would you know? You've never tried. You're trying to distract me, but your efforts are in vain. Tonight, I have even less patience for your antics than usual. Seth is under the protection of the supernatural secrecy force. If you harm as much as a hair on his head, you will be in defiance of North Haven's supernatural law. What is that? The supernatural secrecy force. It is a privately owned counter-terrorism and intelligence agency, secretly operating under political and financial support of multiple governments and private individuals. Their key priority is to shield the existence of supernatural world. Their key priority is to shield the existence of the supernatural world from humans. The SSF has offices all around the world, but they hold more power in some places than others. Most SSF agents are supernatural, but the higher ups are almost exclusively human. Though the SSF claims to care for the best interests of humans and non-humans alike, their regulations often put the supernaturals at a disadvantage. The supernaturals who have decided to sign up to work for the SSF are, at best, distrusted by other supernaturals. At worst, they are completely ostracized. Okay, so they're like cops, and you're a class traitor. Fire. Never mind what I said earlier. But damn, bro. Okay. Purely out of childish spite, she considers plucking a hair from Seth's head just to prove a point. He'll grow back in a few seconds after all. Release him. Let me handle him. Meh. It's not as if this would have been my first crime. I've broken at least 2 laws just tonight. This is a serious matter. How serious? I cannot say much. Just know that Seth is our only witness to an important investigation. I am? He is? In her surprise, Cersei drops Seth on his behind. Seth scrambles to his feet, running to hide behind Abraxas' imposing frame. It's hard to tell, but beneath the thick jacket, Abraxas is hiding almost 6 feet and 5 inches of lean muscle. If only he'd use all those muscles for something productive. Like throwing me around the bedroom. Alright, bro. Alright. But I digress. Normally, no self-respecting vampire would run to an SSF agent for help. But Seth either doesn't know that, or yeah, he definitely has no respect for himself. Follow me. One of my agents is waiting for us around the corner. Hey, where do you think you're going? I'm not done with you. Abraxas answers without pause. I am. I'm not. I fail to see how that's my problem. Abraxas couldn't look more bored if he tried. It's infuriating how he always carries himself with perfect poise, even as his shoulders hang heavy with guilt he thinks no one can see. Thank you for not putting too much of a fight up. Thank you for not putting up too much of a fight this time, Miss Cersei. I appreciate when you are willing to cooperate. Unlike the rest of his good-for-nothing squad, Abraxas has never, not even once, flinched in the face of her wrath. But there's always a time for first. Collaborate? You want me to show you how I collaborate? Wow, she's so pretty, bro. She storms up to him, even in heels. She has to glare up at him, but the height difference has never intimidated her. This is unnecessary. I could hear you perfectly fine where you stood. Go fuck yourself. Not even a flinch. Very mature. You're more than welcome to waste my time any other night, Miss Cersei. Just not this one. Oh, he wants her, bro. He tries to sidestep her, but she follows, blocking his path. Don't pretend you're above this. You love arguing with me. That's why you're always in my business, messing with my work. His brows furrow. It's the only hint her words have affected him in some way. I am not in your business. You're in mine. Right, sure. That's why you stalked me here. Oh, wait. That wasn't me. That was you. Oh, I misread that. Ah! Okay, hold on. Oh, please. I did not stalk you. And how'd you find us? Coincidence? Bro, dude, this art's so pretty. Coincidence? Seriously? That's the best you could think of? It isn't the first time you had brought. It is not. It isn't the first time you brought Prairie to this alley. I was in the area looking for Seth and figured it would be worth a look. So yes, it is nothing more than a coincidence that I found you. He moves to pass her again, but she moves again to block him. Do you even know who you're protecting here? Do you know what this bastard has done to his victims? He just doesn't drain them. He tortures them. He deserves worse than death. You are one to talk. Oh. You're one to talk. You just try to kill me. Seth pushes out his chest, making Aspraxis stand as best he can. You saw what she did. You saw everything, right, Captain? Alright, bro. Quiet. But Seth only gets louder. You did. You saw how this she-devil threatened me. She attempted murder. What are you waiting for? Do your job and arrest her. Cersei doesn't ride to her own defense. There's no need, because she sees Abraxas' response coming from a mile off. On what grounds? I told you, she just tried to murder me. That isn't something the SSF is concerned with. We cannot get involved every time there's a minor squabble between two supernaturals. But shut it. They traded a peeved glance at the unintentional coordination. After a stony stare, Abraxas is the first to break the silence. You have no authority here, Miss Cersei. Now go on your way, and I'll go on mine. The palm of his cold hand goes to the small of her back, gently pushing her aside. He then grabs Seth by the elbow to drag him to the mouth of the alley. Cersei follows, right at their heels. What happens to him after you get what you need? We'll follow protocol and release him. Like he's a criminal. Because he's predictable like that, Abraxas just offers her the usual spiel. The SSF is counterterrorism and intelligence agency. We investigate and neutralize supernatural threats for the greater good of society. We have neither the time nor reason to chase down all of the addicts, muggers, and vandals who haunt these streets. But even if I wanted to do something, we have no case against him. I cannot abuse the law by detaining him without proof of a crime. My word is your proof. Have I ever lied to you before? Many times. But I'm not lying this time. Abraxas pauses, turning to look at her. She meets his assessing stare with confidence. If you have proved this vampire has violated supernatural law, you should gather your evidence and report it to the Supernatural Crime Division. I put in a word with the inspector or whoever's on shift to make sure he's looked into it as soon as possible. I missed something in the glossary. Alicia, Fangling Jew, Lazarus Maker, Nisha, Northaven, Orion Walker. Supernatural Crime Division, a secret police division focused on investigating and preventing supernatural crime, led by a wizard called Advic. To the public eye, they appear as Special Crimes Division. Oh. Interesting. And if he's indeed guilty of the claims you make, I'll personally ensure he gets what he deserves. Now will you please step aside and let me do my job? She steps back, hiding her fangs between tightly pressed lips. Fine. She's not going to report shit. By the time they get through with the backlog of his files, Seth will have already fled the city. She'll surrender him to SSF custody for now. There's no other option, but as soon as he's out of their sight... Hey. Seth snickers under his breath. Serves you right, you stupid cunt. One second, Seth's taunting her. The next, he's curled up on the floor, clutching his broken nose as he cries out in pain. Oh, fuck! What was that for? I don't know why I gave him a little kid voice. It happened so fast she almost missed the look of uncharacteristic rage on Abraxas' face. Mind your tongue in the presence of a lady. Abraxas! Please, why are you a class traitor, bro? Clearing his throat, he actually has the audacity to look sheepish when his eyes meet Cersei's. We'll take a detour. The nose will heal before we reach the office. Hope your car crash is on the way. For a split second, she thinks she sees a ghost of a smile grace his lips. Great. Now I'm hallucinating. Good night to you too, Miss Cersei. Oh, he wants her so bad. So bad. He grabs the back of Seth's hoodie, effortlessly lifting him with one arm and carrying him out of the alley. Damn. Can you carry me like that? Sorry. She doesn't watch them leave. She's too pissed to spend another second here. How cute! When she's certain that she's still alone, she transforms and flies into the night. Cersei flies through an open window of flat. Miss Cersei, Miss Cersei, Miss Cersei! She transforms just in time to land. She transformed just in time to land on her feet inside. Who the hell does he think he is? Oh! Oh my god! Whoa! Whoa! Guys, I was not expecting that. Whoa! She stalks around the tiny space, staring her clothes off while cursing Abraxas in every language known to mankind. She's never known anyone more frustrating. She pulls to a stop in front of the mirror so she can adjust her underclothes and check her makeup. But her reflection makes her pause. Sometimes, I wish the mist was true and vampires didn't have reflections. When she sees herself in the mirror, she can never resist picking her appearance apart. The red lips, painted that color so her mouth would match her eyes. The black hair she frantically restyles with every change of the season. The body that stopped aging the year she thinks she turned 22, only a few days short of 23. She tries to carry herself to show that she's older than she looks, but staring herself down in the mirror, she can't help feeling hopelessly young. Oh, that's so sad. In the near 100 years of her existence, she's reinvented herself a dozen times. So why is it I still look so like the girl I used to be? Oh, it's so sad. I wish I could forget her, but every time I see myself, there she is. At least she's beautiful. A small mercy. I'm too old to mope around like this. Cersei picks her clothes back up, slipping them back on. It's embarrassing, really, letting Abraxas shake her confidence like this. She smirks. Back again, I see. She quiets her step, sneaking around as she searches for the little intruder. Come out, wherever you are. She catches the culprit under a haphazardly discarded bra. Her neighbor's cat. How did you manage to escape your owner this time? She pss at Ellie. There better be a picture. Cersei's neighbor's cat. She likes to sneak into Cersei's flat, luring her from her hiding spot. She's not sure the sounds actually make a difference. The cat just seems to really like her. Why else were you sneaking her all the time? She picks the cat up, cradling her in her arms and pressing a kiss to her head. Poor Miss Harris has to be worried sick about you. Wait here. I'll have Eddie take you home. I'll take that as a yes, ma'am. Good kitty. Then there she finds Edgar hunched over his desk, worried. Why does a human who's worked with Cersei for 20 years now? Is he gonna be older or did we turn him? I'm curious. Oh, it says human. I'm assuming he's gonna be older than the first time we met him. Downstairs, she finds Edgar hunched over his desk, nose buried in a mountain. Oh, yes, sir! Yes, bro. Oh, his tired eyes. Yes. Okay. And then he's working. He might as well be red dead to the rest of the world. The only sign he's actually a living person and not an eerily realistic statue is when his hand moves to scratch at his vital clock straddle. Sometimes it's all too easy to forget that Edgar isn't the same boy I met 20 years ago. Edgar is the only human companion she's ever had. She knows a relationship isn't conventional. Vampires don't keep the company of humans they aren't feeding on, or sleeping with, or planning to change. But Edgar isn't a blood bag, or a quick plug, or a toy to her. He's a friend. Perhaps her only friend in this world. When we first met, we looked the same age. Perhaps I was. Perhaps that's why it feels so strange to watch him grow while I don't. Growing old suits him. Where he used to be cute, he's now handsome. At least in her opinion, that is. Let's slip into his lab. I'm a grown woman. I can do what I like. So she crosses over the desk and onto his lap. She buries her nose in his collar and inhales. He smells the same as always. Like coffee, tobacco, and cheap body wash. Comfortable? I don't remember. I have no idea what voice I gave him in the beginning, bro. It's over. She's done this enough times that it barely phases him anymore, which is disappointing. Oh well, it just means she has to try a little harder to flush her hand. Very comfortable. Bro. Let me try a British accent again. Glad one of us... No, not happening. Glad one of us is. Bored, she slips out of his lap and sits on the edge of the desk instead. You'll never guess what happened again. Nah. Abraxas messed up the job, didn't he? He was talking about Ellie, but being reminded of Abraxas sours her mood. How'd you know? Heard you crossing up a storm upstairs. Alright. 10 floors. Edgar doesn't ask for details, well aware Cersei will supply them regardless. It never takes much for her to go off on one of her rants about Abraxas and the supernatural secrecy force. They've been a thorn in their operations since the very start. Separate from the Supernatural Crime Division, the SSF are an intelligence agency specialized in so-called counter-terrorism. Bluntly speaking, they've been ordered to do whatever it takes to ensure that the existence of supernaturals remains a secret from the larger world. They spy and manipulate the narrative behind the scenes, only stepping forward when an incident grows big enough that it threatens exposure. On occasion, they will even directly eliminate assumed threats. The SSF higher-ups are all mortals, but they send supernaturals like Abraxas to do the dirty fieldwork for them. Many would insist that the SSF are necessary evil, but everyone still thinks supernaturals who join up are sellouts. Innocence or guilt matters little to the SSF. Their job is quite literally to brush things under the rug, usually at the expense of non-humans. Cities that have experience. Wait, what? Cities that have experienced the rise of vampires don't let the SSF anywhere near it if they can help it. Okay. Rise of vampires refers to historical events in which a single or several vampire clans have set up stronghold in a region. Aside from wizards, these strongholds tend to shun the presence of other non-humans. In the past decade, Paris has been Europe's strongest... It's always Paris, bro. Europe's largest vampire stronghold. On the other hand, the British vampire population, once prosperous, has been in decline for generations. Interesting. In places like North Haven, it's hard to get all the different non-humans to agree on anything other than not wanting humans to discover us. It's not a surprise to intervene again, but I am surprised they haven't short Thorn investigations down yet given our egregious list of violations. A private investigation Founded by Cersei and Edgar, they accept jobs from humans and supernaturals alike. Occasionally, they even take contracts to slay vampires. I don't like Abraxas any more than you do, but I've got to give it to him. His patience with you has been impressive. Careful. That almost sounded like a compliment. But Edgar's not wrong. Cersei should be a major liability in the SSF's books. She's bent or outright broken the rule plenty of times, yet Abraxas doesn't import half of the stuff she gets up to. Because of that, he now seems to believe she owes him some kind of favor. As if I've ever asked for his help. You know what? Maybe he fancies you. My colossal ego is inclined to agree, but I don't think that's it. Besides, he's married. But his wife passed ages ago. And yet, even after all this time, he still hasn't taken off his wedding ring. About 15 years ago, when they spoken face to face for the first time, it had been one of the first things she'd noticed about him. At the time, she'd been disappointed, assuming his wife was still alive. She's done an awful lot of things without guilt, but sleeping with married men was something she liked to avoid. In hindsight, she recognized she dodged the bullet, if only barely. It's a long time. I suppose. Edgar scratches his nose bridge, giving away how nervous he is. He never felt so amused or how easy he is to read. Well, that's quite sad, isn't it? You must have laughed her very much. It must be painful missing someone that long. I guess. Cersei knows far too well what it feels like to mourn someone you'll never hold again. It doesn't have to mean that you love them. But Edgar wouldn't be thinking about her experience in this moment. He must be thinking about his sister. On to more fun matters. Remember what day it is? With everything going on tonight, she nearly forgot herself, so she can't say she blames him when Edgar pulls a face that says he definitely doesn't remember. Of course, I remember it's February 19th? 21st? First of all, it's March. Is it really? I can never tell when it's raining all year round anyway. Oh, fine. I'll tell you. It's our anniversary. Our what? It's been 20 years since the night we first met. Oh. Is that something to celebrate? Let's joke about it. I don't know about you, but I'm surprised we made it this long. Now that we can agree on, wasn't one of us supposed to kill the other by now? He says it lightly, but he's half serious. One of them should be dead by now. Edgar lights a cig, barely hiding a grin when he shoves it between his lips. Cersei smirks back at him. This kind of banter has long been part of their daily routine. She provokes him, he retorts with some snark. They laugh, or roll their eyes, then rinse and repeat. That's cool ass cigarette smoke, by the way. She blinks. Oh, they all both blink, okay. It had taken a while to get here, of course. When they first met, Edgar was so angry with the world, he took everything as an insult. He's mellowed out over the years, gotten better at reserving his anger for when it's actually warranted. Most of the time. I should let our client know we didn't get the Fang Lane. Bleh. It's annoying, but they don't have any other option. Their anonymous client was clear in their instructions. Seth must die tonight, or else no reward. With Seth in the SSF's custody, there's no way they can get him before the sun's up. Ugh! I just realized we'll have to return the deposit, won't we? It's the right thing to do. Can we afford to do that? For your request, we've taken fewer jobs as of late, so we're stretching even thinner than usual. If you want to feel more secure about keeping the lights on, you could take a few more cases. Or spend less on clothes. Why would I do either of those things when you're always working so hard to make sure we're a month ahead of rent? I've only got so much hair, Cersei. And I've only got so many dresses. Edgar heaves a sigh. Thought you might say that. I'll just take it out of my own pay then. She nods, pleased with its quick thinking. Anyway, that can all wait till tomorrow. Let's go to the Golden Cat and celebrate our 20th. You don't need to use our anniversary as an excuse. We go there every night. But tonight will be special. Drinks on me. Well, technically, it's our rapidly depleting business funds that we'll be paying. But the statement stands. You sure know how to spoil a bat. So that's a yes? Yes. Alright, let me just fetch my coat. What do I feel like I'm forgetting something important. Knock, knock, knock. It's your annoying look. I only know one person who knocks like that. He'll take it. But I always answer the door. Only because you're so good at it. Edgar puts his cig out and walks over to the door, opening to reveal Edgar! Thirsty! Thank goodness you're still here. Go read the glossary. The elderly neighbor who lives next door to Thorn Investigation. She never complains about the strange guests who frequent the neighbor's side. Good for her, man. I would also not complain. Just not my business. A pub frequented by supernaturals. The name is based on the original owner's cat. Both Cersei and Dante frequent the Golden Cat after work. Miss Harris, the next door neighbor, rushes inside. She's a kind old woman who thankfully never complains about the suspicious people going in and out of Thorn Investigations at all hours. Hopes that her eyesight isn't what it used to be. It goes for her hearing, actually. Oh, I'm so sorry to bother you. I know how busy you are doing your detective work, saving the day and all that. But I can't find my baby anywhere. Her baby being our cat, Ellie. I feel awful bringing this to you at this hour. But would you mind having a look for her? I couldn't sleep knowing she's out there, cold, alone, and lost. Shivering to death. My poor baby. Her wailing's loud enough to wake up the entire building. Edgar starts to sweat. Edgar doesn't look like he's in the mood to go on a cat hunt. Luckily for him, they won't have to. Good news! We already found her. Her bawling immediately stops. You did? Yes, she's upstairs. She is? Edgar guides Miss Harris to a sofa. She sinks into it with relief. Oh, how lucky am I to have the city's finest detectives as my neighbors. It's not that hard to find someone who's hiding inside your own home. Cersei retrieves Ellie from stairs, hesitantly returning her to her owner. Edgar watches the exchange with amusement. She's been nagging for ages that she should just stroll down to the shelter and pick up a cat of her own. Sadly, I lack the confidence. I lack the confidence to keep something living alive. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. Miss Harris hugs the cat to her chest. Ellie lets out a not so pleased, yeah. You saved my baby again. How could I ever repay the two of you? It's nothing. We're glad to help anytime. Free of charge. Nonsense. I'll make you some biscuits and bring them over tomorrow. No, she wouldn't have been able to eat them, and no good would come from having Miss Harris lurking around unless necessary. Cersei tries to tell her. There's really no need. We love that. Thank you so much. Seriously? Edward looks offended. I'm always serious about desserts. Very good, Mr. Thorne. It's important for growing boys to eat plenty. Good joke. The only thing The only thing Edgar is growing is a pitiful beard. Edgar rubs his jaw. And for that, you need plenty of calories. Sure. Cersei gently gets Miss Harris up out of her chair and gets her to the door. Away there, Harris rambles about what she's gonna bake tomorrow. Cersei almost has to shove her out the door. When it's finally shut behind her, Cersei turns to glare at Edgar. What? It would be foolish of me to turn away free food. Anyway, when Miss Harris is gone, there's only one thing left to do. Drinks. Ah, cute. Oh my god, this might be another long demo. I assumed it was gonna be kind of short because it was like a demo, but this is very long. All supernaturals, even the few humans who are in the know. All supernaturals and even a few humans who are in the know come here. As long as you keep your fangs, claws, wands, and whatever you got to yourself, you're welcome to pop in for a drink. Entering the pub, Cersei's eyes immediately hone in on one guest in particular. Oh look, it's your little friend. Raoul, a local cop with muscles that aren't just for show, he's seated near the bar, nursing a beer in one hand. Dante's partner officer and one of the few humans in the SCD. Thanks to his family's connections and knowledge, Raoul got glimpses into the world of supernaturals very early, and his fascination has only grown, ultimately resulting in him joining the SED. Raul Basti. Don't call him that. The way you phrase it makes it sound indecent. But he is your friend. Last I checked, your only friend. I have other friends. There's Richard, back in my hometown, though I haven't spoke to the brat in some time. Or even thought about him in a while. And, there's you. We're friends, aren't we? Oh, of course. Embarrassed by how much his words meant to her, Cersei's quick to change the subject. Thankfully, Edgar doesn't seem to mind, looking more than a little flustered himself. Bro! By the way, Raul's like, gay, right? What makes you say that? He's never responded to any of my flirting. Perhaps he's just not into you. No, he's definitely gay. She only flirts with Raul to mess with Edgar, but it still surprises her Edgar hasn't noticed his friend's not into women. Is he really so oblivious? Or is Raul just that private? Maybe it's easier for her to tell because she also enjoys the company of her own sex. Oh, bye, queen! Takes your hand like this. Yes. Me. Wait. You've been flirting with him? That's what he was mulling over? They walk up to Raul. Edgar greets him first. Evening, Raul. Did you get off work early tonight? Edgar and Raul have an interesting friendship, if you can call it that. They meet up every few weeks, but it's never a planned thing. They'll just sit next to each other and chat over a few drinks, bonding over being humans in the world, supernaturals, or whatever. Oh, hello, Edgar. Unfortunately, I'm technically still on the clock. Good to see you as well, Cersei. Have you been well? Raul nods to Cersei, acknowledging her too. He's smiling, but she can't tell if it's out of politeness or he's genuinely happy to see them. Sure. What about you? Are you here on official business? Anything we should look out for? Well, she takes a look around. Where's your pup, by the way? Glad to see you without him. Barely a moment after he's mentioned, Cersei watches Dante, Raul's police partner, step inside the bar. That's the other guy we can play. Oh, he's so pretty! Ah! Speak of the devil. Or werewolf, I guess if we're being technical. Dante looks a little out of sorts, hair sticking up more than usual. He notices them immediately, but doesn't spur them as much as a grunt of acknowledgement, rubbing his arms. Instead, he stops at the other side of the bar to order a beer. I've always thought of him as a loose cannon, ready to burst, but he looks especially on edge tonight. Some things rattled him. And again, Dante's never behaved in a way you'd expect an officer to. But perhaps that's why I mind him less. Is he avoiding us? I think he can hear you. Yes, that was the point. She raises her voice. Perfect timing, Dante. We were just talking about you. What? No, we weren't. You realize when you say it like that, you only sound more suspicious. Cersei. Raul rests his chin on his palm, watching the scene with a little too much amusement for her liking. For some reason, Dante seriously freaks Edgar out. Now this shouldn't be surprising, because Edgar's been easily scared for as long as Cersei has known him. However, he's especially intimidated by Dante. He's into Dante. That's why he's also like, yeah, he's into Dante. You're gay. To his defense, Dante does look like he'd like to punch the lights out of you if you look at him the wrong way on the wrong day. But you have to be pretty stupid to try something on Eddie while I'm around. In the meantime, Dante has picked up a beer and walked over. He offers a nonchalant wave with his free hand, which is probably as good as a greeting they'll get from him. Did you forget to brush your hair this morning? Or did you run into trouble on your way here? If anyone's picking on you, you can always let me know. I don't like animal abuse. I just ran into Abraxas. Seen him recently? Being reminded of Abraxas' assistance sets a frown on her face. Not really. When Dante smirks, Cersei's known he's gotten exactly what he's wanted by bringing up Abraxas. I heard he and his agents are snooping around the museum that exploded, interviewing potential witnesses. Museum? An explosion? Could that be related to why our practice needed Seth? I guess I'll be wandering all around the city till that's sorted, keeping an eye on things. Ugh. If you haven't run into him yet, I'm sure you will. A lot. Dude, Dante's funny. His smugness shifts to curiosity. Heard anything about that, though? Not sure what you're asking of me. Oh, not sure what you're asking me for. I haven't got a clue what they're up to. And speaking from experience, it's best if it stays that way. Actually, why do you even care? I'm the SSF and the police to stay out of each other's business as much as they can. Unless it's related to whatever the two of you are working on. Probably wouldn't tell us anything, but maybe you will. You didn't give me the chance to say anything. As if you would have told me the truth if I did. She could have forced him to, if she really wanted to. She could use the compulsion on either of them right now, and there wouldn't be much they could do about it. Dante's trickier because he's about as stubborn as one gets. Burrow's only human. She wouldn't, though. Not because she's squeamish about compelling either of them. She's just not curious enough. Still, if Dante will tell her anything, she'll take it. Well, since you asked so nicely. No. You suck. I don't. That's your job. Edgar, 18 away to get from Dante, interrupts. Okay, well, you two of you look desperately and we're in desperate need of drink. We'll leave you to it. Bye. But, come on, Cersei. You've bothered them enough tonight. How dare you? I'm perfectly lovely and pleasant to be around. Raoul waves to Edgar. Good to see you, Edgar. Yeah, cheers. He's so gay, bro. He's so into him. Edgar takes her arm and she begrudgingly lets him pull her to another corner of the bar. They nab their usual seats close to the bartender. When they drink a lot, so it's good to have easy access. In order to maintain some level of dignity, we've never agreed to discuss exactly how much our income goes to the Golden Cat. The bartender is swift. In a minute, they have the usuals in front of them. Some cocktail for Edgar and a totally non-conspicuous glass of red wine for Cersei. And when we are going to address the elephant in the room. Edgar sipped his cocktail, raising a single brow at Cersei's question. I'm talking about your addiction to sugar. It would be criminal to even call that a drink. It's about 1% alcohol and 99% sugar. Not quite sure those numbers add up. Besides, what right do you have to judge everyone's joint of drink when you order the same thing every night? Why waste my money on alcohol when it just spoils the taste of what I really want? I thought alcohol enhanced the taste of blood. Actually, I can't believe I've never asked you that before. He knows exactly why he hasn't asked. With each year that passes, Edgar grows more determined to avoid acknowledging what she really is. Depends on the vamp, but nothing will ever beat drinking it fresh from the tap. And you have started doing that again? She doesn't miss the regret in his eyes before he averts them. Still, she can't help but feel the irritation she feels at what he's insinuating. Not since I ended things with Lazarus. You know that. Right. But you think that's a lie. I didn't say that. Even if I were doing it, it's not like that Fangling I met tonight. Oh, even if I were doing it, I'm not like that Fangling I met tonight. I have self-control. I'm fully capable of making my own decisions. I don't drink from people who wouldn't want me to. And I certainly don't drain people. So you can stop looking at me like I bit your pasty ass. Edgar's face falls into his hands, but trembling shoulders do little to conceal his laughter. It's not funny. I'm annoyed with you. I know. I'm sorry. Sorry I'm annoyed? Sorry you said it in the first place? Both. She grinned. She's grinning now too. Then why the laughter? Why'd you have to call me pasty? You know I've been trying really hard to build a tan. You should give up on that. You're only adding to the constellation of freckles on your face. Oh, you liked my freckles. I said that. Well, I must have been lying. And I'm apparently lying about everything these days. He grimaces. Seems he thought she was gonna let that one get swept under the rug. I'm sorry, Cersei. I didn't mean to accuse you. I know you're not like that. I know you wouldn't. It's just hard to forget the shit I've seen. The things I know you're capable of if you weren't held out back by your own morals. It always comes back to this, huh? Edgar only likes the Cersei who stands up against her own kind and looks out for the weak. Not the Cersei who lures strangers into her bed and sucks their blood. I don't know how to tell him I'm both. So I don't. Nothing. Nothing's holding me back. You make it sound like I'm forced to do this. But I choose to. It's not an easy choice. She's been like that, Fangling. She's been worse. And it was fun. She doesn't want to know how Edgar will look at her if she confesses that to him. I understand. Except he doesn't. Therein lies the problem. Edgar clears his throat and puts a smile that trembles at the corners. We're here to celebrate. We should talk about happier things, shouldn't we? Courtesy of decades of practice, the smile she puts on herself is a lot more convincing. Right. Like your girlie just drink. We're still on that? Hey, aside from the increased risk of diabetes, I find it cute you have a sweet tooth. And 44. Oh my god, he's older than I thought he was. Jesus. No, I knew he was 40. Yeah, I knew he was 40 because he was in his 20s. I think they implied when she met him, and it's been 20 years. But like, I like seeing the number said like that. It was like, damn, bro. At 44 years old, being described as cute is no longer very flattering, but shit, wait a second. He presses his fingers to his lips and then motions the radio playing on the counter. The news is on.
Local authorities have stated a gas leak caused the explosion at Beaumont Museum last night.
That's the best radio sound I could think. Beaumont Museum. That's where Dante said the SSF were digging around, right?
The museum doors will remain closed to the public till repairs on the private wing are complete.
Blah, blah, blah.
Among other news, the body of 23-year-old Jane Stewart was found last night. Earlier this month, Miss Stewart was reported missing.
My god, has human news always been this boring? It's always the same thing. Someone was robbed, someone was murdered, someone was kidnapped. At least there's an explosion involved this time. But what's the aftermath? The next day, there's something else. Not anything worse, but nothing better either. You don't have to listen to the news to know how terrible the world can be. Just step outside. Ever been? Edgar and Cersei look up at the bartender. What? The Beaumont Museum? It's owned by one of the greatest wizards of our time. Reynard Beaumont. Never heard of him. What makes him so great? Many things. For starters, Cersei doesn't bother to listen, focused on twirling her drink around the glass, but Edgar nods along, genuinely interested for whatever reason. Anyway, he has to be ancient now. He retired from the public eye decades ago. If he's even still alive, wouldn't surprise me if he didn't know what's happened to his family's museum. Maybe we should set it on fire again and make sure he gets the memo this time. You wouldn't actually, would you? Want to find out? You have an annoying habit of doing the opposite of what I ask you, so no comment. The bartender leaves to serve another customer. Edgar starts patting his pockets. Bollocks, I'm all out. Now hold yourself back on my account. The corner store should still be open. Sure you don't mind me leaving you alone? He's already climbed to his feet. I think I'll live. Or at least, not die. Again? I'll be back in no time. I don't know why he got this southern accent. And he's gone. Burger, coffee, cigs. Humans have a lot of stupid vices. She stares down at her drink. Not that mine are any better. She sips slowly, letting her eyes roam the room. She's not sure where the compulsions come from. It's not as if she'll discover anything new. It's always the same old faces. No, wait. She is definitely new. Ha ha ha! Sorry. Guys. Sorry. Cersei meets eyes with the woman at the far end of the pub. Beauty is no stranger to Cersei. She's seen it in many faces, many bodies, even a few hearts. But this woman isn't just beautiful. She's... The woman smiles. Smile back, please. Give me a chance. Cersei returns the smile, but looks back down at her drink just as quickly. Not as getting shy. Not looking to hook up with anyone tonight. Although that's a bit presumptuous of her, maybe the woman was just being nice. Not really looking for nice either. Wait. Cersei's head snaps up, but the woman's already gone, nowhere to be seen. Only in her absence does Cersei realize that she couldn't detect what the woman was. Whoever, or whatever that woman was, she means trouble. I want her. I want to speak to her. It makes no sense, but I want to see her again. I want her. I want her. Not her blood, not her body, not her heart. Cersei wants the mystery she offers. It's exactly what she's been looking for. A mystery time-consuming enough to end the perpetual boredom eating away at her. Preoccupied by her thoughts, Cersei barely notices Edgar's return. He slips off his jacket, slides back into his seat, and gestures for another round of drinks from the bartender. What took you so long? Ran into some trouble. Don't be stingy with the details. What kind of trouble? He lights a cig, angling his body towards her. Their knees brush, but neither of them move away. They're used to the lack of personal space. Well, so you see... No, never mind. Are you blushing? My god, you are! Not on purpose. Unfortunately, I don't think it's me having this effect on you, so it's something else. Edgar twists and squirms in his seat. Or someone else? What's that on date? He spits the words out so fast, Cersei could have missed them if it were not for her supernatural hearing. You're messing with me. I wish I was. This was stressing me out. Wait, you said yes? What? Obviously I said no. Why would it be so obvious? Was something wrong with her? No, she was pretty and nice and smelled good. Too many details now. Sorry, I just thought she had a nice perfume. You'd like it, actually. You're only making it weirder. I said no because it would never work. She's human. As are you. But I don't live like one. Excuses. Think about it for a second. I run a supernatural detective agency. How do I explain that to someone outside this business? Oh, sorry, this is Edgar. Think about it for a second. I run a supernatural detective agency. How do I explain that to someone outside this business? Not to mention, now how I'm up all night, asleep most of the day. Not say a normal person would want to be with someone like me. Oh, come on. So what if she doesn't fit into your normal schedule? You make time when you're in love. Love? God, I definitely don't have time for that. I want these clients to be managed and bills to be paid and... You don't have to work all the time, Eddie. You could take one night off of drinking to get laid. Shh! What if someone hears you? Oh, come on. You're a grown man. You can't possibly still be embarrassed by the word sex. I'm not, but we're in public? Sex. Jesus Christ. Breathing, mating, copulating, fornicating. What is it you Brit say? Shagging. He's cackling like a madwoman while Edgar hisses under his breath. Cersei, I'm begging you, stop. Edgar looks about ready to explode from embarrassment, anxiously glancing around to make sure no one's heard her. Cersei doesn't have the heart to remind him that they're at a bar for supernaturals. Almost everyone's guaranteed to have overheard. Anyway, wouldn't it be nice to be with someone, if only for the night? Oh, you're so pretty, bro. Edgar laughs, shaking his head, more to himself than in response to her words. Somehow, I prefer to be here. Oh, with me? I wouldn't necessarily consider your presence to be an advantage. But yes, I prefer to be here with you. Cersei brings the glass to her lips, hiding her smile behind it. I'm gonna be honest. He's fine. But if we're gonna play this the long way, I kinda wanna go for someone else. You know? I have someone on my mind that I'm thinking about. We just met her. We're gonna say it's a shame he said no. In a way, it's a shame he said no. She doesn't want the routine to change, but she doesn't want Edgar to feel like he can't have a life outside of Thornton investigations and her. And again, he can't really keep doing this and be normal. She's not sure how she would react if he no longer had much time for her. Last time she lost her only sense of stability in the world, she didn't exactly take it well. Of course, there are people like Aru and Dante's superior, Orion, who have human families and try to live as normally as possible. But Orion's an anomaly, and with time, Vampires like him learn the hard way, but rejecting your nature never works out in the long run. Edgar's different. He could pack his bags, move cities, and go back to living a normal life whenever he wants. As long as he remains here, though, he'll never be able to pull the wool back over his eyes. Edgar taps out his cig in the nearest ashtray. Enough about that. Did I miss anything around here? No. For some reason, it doesn't feel right to mention the mysterious woman. Maybe because she knows how Edgar worries and she doesn't want him to start. The bartender slides the new drinks towards them. They clean glasses. 20 years in his hellish profession. And to 20 more. Okay. I don't know how long this demo is. And I kind of want to end for tonight. So I don't actually know what to do. Let's push it to like one more minute and then we'll end. Edgar had too many drinks for going to his flat. She stops when they reach his building. He's never invited her upstairs before, and she thought it'll be any different tonight. Will you make it upstairs on your own? Why wouldn't I? He pushes off of her and stumbles up the stair entrance. He almost falls over several times, but by some miracle, he manages to reach the door without breaking any bones. See, he hiccups. I'm perfectly fine. Right. See you tomorrow night. He waves her goodbye. She waves back. Night. She waits until he's safely inside the building. Chances are low he'll die on his way up the lift, so Cersei begins to stroll back to her own flat. She walks at a leisurely pace, like the threat of the sun rising won't be upon her any moment now. Like her slow pace might delay the inevitable day. Oh, we might actually be done. Or not? Oh, we're back. Bro, this is too sexy for me. Cersei strips out to her underwear. Her one-bedroom flat has no bed, only a sofa, so that's where she lies down. Outside, the sun slowly rises, and the world Cersei will never get to be a part of again wakes up. She stares up at the ceiling, trying not to think about the growing resentment she feels every time she has to hide away from the sun. I didn't always hate the daytime. When her common senses returned, after her fangling year, Cersei found that the day offered endless opportunities for self-improvement. She read novels, she meditated, she brushed up on her history, learned martial arts, studied different languages, read some more, slept with all kinds of people, men, women, people who didn't really identify as either. Half of the time, she didn't even feed on them. She liked to cuddle in bed afterwards, basking in their heat. When films became a thing, she found herself obsessed with cinema. Lived hundreds of different lives to the stories of others. But like everything else, it soon got dull, hiding herself in escapism to distract herself from her own thoughts. Lately, she can't be bothered to do much of anything anymore. Is this all there is to eternity? An endless cycle of wanting and no longer wanting, forever falling in and out of love with what once meant the world to you? If she shuts her eyes, if she pretends hard enough, she can almost imagine she's dreaming. Where do her dreams bring her today? Mystery woman. Ah, ah. Who was she? More importantly, what was she? Every person has a distinct aura. Some call it a life force, some call it the soul. Whatever you'd like to call it, everyone has it. Not everyone can detect it, but Cersei's trained to ensure she never misses it. But the fact she's missed this one, it unsettles her. It unsettles her very much. Okay, Edgar? Eddie's Eddie's funny when he's drunk. Though most of the nights at the Golden Cat and eh, though most of their nights might end at the Golden Cat, Edgar rarely drinks enough to get wasted. His love of tobacco might send him in an early grave, but at least alcohol poisoning won't. Small comfort. Ugh. Just picturing that self-righteous face of his irritates her. No, not even worth thinking about for a second. He continues to dream. Aww. She tries her best to fight back against the current of her thoughts, but somehow they always lead back to him. Against her will, Cersei remembers him. Him, open your eyes. Look into my eyes. See yourself as you truly are, as you were always meant to be. I'm I'm afraid. For us, fear is a choice. When she opens her eyes and looks within, she doesn't see herself. She sees him, and only him. Beautiful. He whispers to her, reverent. I will never make anything as beautiful as you again. But sire, you did not make me. I did. His friendly fingers caress her skin with much tenderness. She foolishly mistakes it for fondness. I delivered you from death. I rendered you invulnerable to the horrors of time. I captured you in the moment you were the most beautiful you would ever be. Beautiful. Forever. She holds the monster's stare. My eternal companion, forever. The sun has set again, but Cersei only snaps out of her daydreams when she hears the balcony door open. She doesn't have to get up to guess who's broken into her flat. She'd recognize those steps anywhere. You're just broke into my house? Okay, bro. You'd better have a good reason for this, Abraxas. He stands up to glare at him, his eyes linger on the lack of attire for it, no longer than is polite. Then what is polite? I apologize for this impromptu visit, but it could not wait. Would you please put some clothes on? Then of course I shall explain my unconventional entrance. Let's tease him. Why not remove your own clothes if it feels unfair? Do not be unreasonable. It is not a matter what is fair or not, but of what is appropriate. Well, I won't be putting mine on. This is my home and I feel comfortable like this. It would not be courteous for me to be here while you're alive. He gestures awkwardly, refusing to look at her again. Bro, look at... Oh my god! Unprepared for guests. Exactly why you should remove yours. Make it even. He must know she's messing with him. She can tell from the angry furrow that he's failing to hide between his brows, but he slips off his jacket anyway, hanging it over the side of the sofa. Bro. Bro. Satisfied. Her eyes linger appreciatively on the way his shirt stretches across his chest. Is it intentional that shirts are always a sight too small for you? If you intend to objectify me, I will be putting my jacket back on. He sighs dramatically. Never any fun, are you? As a vamp, shouldn't you know better than to enter a stranger's home without invitation? We are not strangers. We're not friends, either. Acquaintances? Are you seriously trying to negotiate our level of familiarity? His eyes on the... He eyes the balcony he just sneaked in through. I did not mean to cause you any distress, but I had to make sure no one would know I was here. And you felt that creeping into the balcony was the most discreet way to accomplish that? I was not creeping. Really? His eyes sweep down her body again. He clears his throat and pretends to be distracted with the posters lining her wall. I believe this is my first time seeing your flat. You watch a lot of films. Explain why you broke into my damn flat. Sneaked in? Don't be childish. It's not cute when you're like 200 years old. It's about the case of Seth was a witness to. Did you release him already? Of course, we had no reason to hold him after the questioning. No reason? I gave you a reason. Yes, I put in the word for the SCD to look into him sooner rather than later. They mentioned they hadn't received any report from you, however. Oops. I did not come here to talk about Seth. I need a favor. Will you do it? The request surprised her. He started his face, waiting for the punchline. Well, will you? I can't believe my ears. The creative Bronx is asking for my help. Really? Do not make me repeat myself. It was difficult enough the first time. Even if she finds it hard to believe, Abraxas is definitely telling the truth. He barely even relies on his own agents, so for him to come here to her of all people for help, it must mean he needs something badly enough to swallow his pride. I never expected to see the night. She's already set not to doing it, because why would she, in her right mind, ever help Abraxas? But that doesn't mean she's not curious. You're going to have to share more details before I decide. Have you heard of the incident at the Beaumont Museum? In passing. This will never become public knowledge, but the gas leak was a cover-up coordinated by us at the SSF. Wow! Who would have ever imagined? Magic triggered the explosion. The burst of energy was so powerful, should our culprit have wished to, they could have destroyed far more than a single wing. At worst, I fear they might have been able to burn down half of North Haven. My agents and I determined it cannot be a mere incident. A mere accident. This was an intentional attack. I see. Unfortunately, it gets worse. The wing that was destroyed harbored several magical artifacts, one of which is now missing. You should be grateful then. They could have stolen all of them. I sent my team to the scene to clean up and deal with any witnesses. That's when they found the initials JM spread on the wall. Whoever or whatever this JM is, it is our only lead. Why didn't you trace the magic from the explosion? Cersei knows for a fact the SSF North Haven branch has very talented witch in the ranks. As she even happened to be Abraxas' second in command. We suspect it was caused by the artifact itself, which is why it didn't leave any residue from the user behind. Okay, but why do you want me involved? The SSF regularly collaborated with the supernatural police, but that's it. They've never worked with Thorn investigations. While Cersei's not opposed to the challenge, she's no witch hunter. She knows vampires, she knows werewolves, she knows demons, but messing with the wrong wizard can have deadly consequences. It is common sense not to get involved in their affairs. We're going to launch a full investigation into JM when we were explicitly told by people higher up in the ladder to drop the haze. Apparently, an outsider is being sent from elsewhere to continue the investigation. I take it that's unusual. Not necessarily. There have been cases where we collaborate with external parties, but the key word there is collaboration. Never in all the time I have worked for the SSF have been locked out of a case in this manner. Oh, come on. You've been long enough now. This is the first time for everything. I know. Still, I am suspicious of their intentions. I have real reason to be, no actual evidence, nothing to work with but a presentiment. I cannot shake the feeling that something is wrong. What was the artifact? You said an artifact was stolen. What exactly was it? If I knew, I would have told you. I doubt that. I mean it. I know no more beyond the little I have already shared with you. Which is like nothing. If it was hidden in plain sight, inside Reynard Beaumont's private collection, we had planned to contact him about it before we were ordered to drop the case. All we know is that we can make stuff go boom. Not the exact words I would use, but essentially, yes. Who's to say that power didn't come from the person wielding the artifact? Abraxas firmly shakes his head, like he's already ruled out the option. There are wizards and witches capable of things their mind cannot imagine, but it would be suicide to release a burst of energy that large without assistance. When magic's involved, nothing's impossible. I suppose. Still, I would say it too unlikely to be worth consideration. Was that the only witness? Death was the only witness. The only witness who might have seen anything of note, at least. We interviewed all the others and learned nothing. We might have. I thought you brought him in for questioning. We did, however, we were told to drop the case before we could ask him anything worthwhile. Once again, the SSF proves embarrassingly incapable. Not our finest work, I know. But when do you care? I thought it wasn't any of your business if the laws enforced by your superiors might be unfair to us humans. I know what you think of me, Miss Cersei, but I am not your enemy. The SSF do what we must to protect supernaturals from humans, and them from us. Sometimes that means the occasional casualty from our side. Our side, he says. When has he ever been on our side? Anyhow, given the things you get up to in your own time, I do not think you should be judging anybody else. I'll judge whoever I want whenever I want. I don't kill vamps out of some sense of moral superiority. I kill them because it's fun and it pays the bills. Maybe that makes me a bit of a bitch, but so what? I'm not so sanctimonious that I need to pretend my actions are morally justified. Are you really so irredeemable when you only kill the bad ones? Don't pay me as some sort of anti-heroine. All vampires are bad. Even you. Especially me. Same goes for humans, werewolves, witches, you name it. We're all equally capable of bad and good. And that's why it means something when we chose to do good. Abraxas didn't look surprised by her speech. He may not know the full extent of what Cersei used to get up to before North Haven, but unlike Edgar, he can surely imagine. This is Cersei in her best behavior. And if you ever have the misfortune of meeting her at her worst, well, good luck. I only target the so-called bad ones, because I don't need any more trouble with the law than I already have. Also, if someone's willing to pay to see you dead, not once, but twice, you're probably an asshole anyway. Abraxas shakes his head. He gives up on adding anything to this conversation, returning to the previous subject. Technically, I am not preparing orders. It's not me who's investigating this after all. It is you. And if it happens to feed some information back to me, then it is simply how it goes. Oh, of this center. So she folds her arms over her chest. I'll help you under one condition. Why are you making that face? You haven't even heard what I have to say yet. Fine. State your terms. It is quite simple. You're so desperate for my help. Beg for it. No. He moves to leave, but she blocks the path. Why is so uptight? Let me rethink this. Abraxas just stares, waiting. She takes her time, hemming and hawing, simply for the amusement of keeping him in suspense. Alright, I'll do it. He glares softened, only barely, but enough for her to notice. Thank you. Don't thank me. I'm not doing it for you. It just sounds like a compelling case. Far more interesting than anything I've worked on lately. Maybe this is what will fish her out of her slump. Keep her running thorn investigations for another 20 years. You'd better pay us, though, and provide a generous tip. Everybody knows that Braxis sits on a monstrous amount of generational wealth from his previous life, something she might as well use to advantage here. That can be arranged. Perfect! Now give me a moment to get dressed, and I'll get you out of here. There's no need. I have my own way. The balcony again? Absolutely not, Romeo. His eyes shift to the floor, drawing brows together. He's that conflicted about this? Perhaps he's never broken the rules in the past. He fears the consequences should anybody learn he's still disobeying orders. Let's reassure him. He has himself have no reason to monitor your every move. Even if someone does find out you came here, surely you're quick-witted enough to think you've been excused on the spot. Yes, you're right. There's plenty of reason why I might come see you. Plenty, you say? No chance. He rolls his eyes, and any previous hints of vulnerability vanish. Never mind that. Get dressed. I do not have one night, and neither do you. Just for the attitude, I'll make sure to take my sweet time. Working in customer service. Cersei leads Abraxas downstairs so he can leave to the front door like a normal person. In their office, a freshly shaven Edgar makes himself he shaved because of her comment! Makes herself comfortable behind his desk. He's mid-bite on a biscuit when they enter. Take that out of your mouth so we can understand. He swallows. Why is he here? Good to see you too, Thorn. Pleasure's all yours, prick. Edgar's nasty glare softens only slightly when his eyes shift to Cersei. I repeat, why is he here? And why was he upstairs? And how did he even get in? I've been here over now when the door's been shut the entire time. Did he show up during the day? Did you spend all... Before you're gonna let your imagination run places I don't even want to imagine, how about you shut up and let me talk? Lie because it's funny. You're right, he did spend the day. He did what? I didn't. Abraxas looks to Edgar. I didn't. Denying it twice makes you sound totally guilty. But you know it isn't true. Why must you always make up nonsense? As if I'd believe that anyway. Neither of you could stand each other for that long. Now tell me the truth, what's he doing here? I'm standing right here, Thorn. You could simply ask me. Or I could not. Abraxas sneers. In that case, I shall leave the explaining to your boss. Bro. Edgar lifts his plate. You're going to piss off now, right? Have a biscuit before you go. Fresh from our neighbor. I can't. Oh, that's right. You can't eat. I can, but the taste is repulsive and I cannot properly digest it, meaning I would have to... Abraxas pauses. Ah, you're mocking me. Edgar stuffs a cookie in his mouth. Took you long enough. Abraxas focuses on Cersei again. Report to me as soon as you find something. You know where to find me. Yes, sir. Edgar lights a cig. After Abraxas leaves, she waits for his patient to work in. It doesn't take long. So? He wants us to look into something. He explains everything to Edgar. Same as her, he's baffled that Abraxas would ignore a direct order from his superiors. It doesn't make sense. I know. That's why it's interesting. The measly initials are much of a lead, though. JM could be a person, an organization, a movement. How would we know? Only one way to find out. Let's split up and check in with our contacts around the city and see if they've heard anything. You know which side is yours. Right. Enjoy your biscuits. I'll head out first. She walks up to the window. She's moments away from transforming when Ed calls out, Cersei, be careful, please. Worry about yourself, old man. 20 years ago, I was a boy. Today, I'm an old man. Give it another 10 and I'll be dust and cobwebs in your eyes. It's a compliment! I like older men. It is not a compliment. You have extremely questionable taste. Don't downplay your sex appeal. Your quickie meanies and back issues especially are oh so attractive. Enough! Don't you have somewhere to be? Try not to miss me too much. But she transforms, circling Edgar once before she flies out the window and into the night. Bye bye! Current investigations have established an trusted net of sources around North Haven over the past 2 decades. From small business owners to working girls to regular everyday people oblivious to the supernatural world, you never know who might have the intel you need. But tonight, none of the usuals had anything useful for Cersei. No one's heard of the initials before. For her last stop, Cersei catches Nisha away from Elysium on her smoke break. Glad to see, glad to see you 2 nights in a row. Don't get used to it. Wouldn't dare to. Nisha takes a long drag of a stick and blows the smoke away from Cersei. How'd it go with the Fangling last night? Ugh, she would really prefer to keep the whole thing. Forget the whole thing, but it seems the universe is intent on not letting her. As the staff showed up, Nisha rolls her eyes, getting exactly what's happened without Cersei having to explain. Another reason Cersei appreciates her. They share a dislike of law enforcement. Although you'd be hard pressed to find a supernatural in North Haven who doesn't dislike Abraxas. I'll let you know if Sesh ever shows his mug around Elysium again. Since he couldn't pay his fee last night, he's on the shit list. I mean, technically it was out of his control. But we're not meant to know that, so... Thanks. But if he knows what good's for him, he's already left the city. I wouldn't underestimate how stupid that idiot can be. Anyway, you're obviously not here to talk about Seth. What's going on? Have you seen the initials JM anywhere before? Nisha shrugs. No. Is that someone important? Another dead end. Another dead end. I don't even know if it's a who or a what yet. But if you hear anything, Nisha tips her imaginary hat to Cersei. You'll be the first to know, of course. Thanks. Nisha puts out her cigarette on the nearest wall. If that's all, I should get back inside. Elysium doesn't run itself. Nazar still leaving all the work to you. He pulls his weight. Sometimes. Kick him in the balls for me when you see him next. I quite like this job, so I will not be doing that, but you have my respect for your commitment to hating him. It's a lifestyle at this point. Ha. Nisha waves her goodbye and disappears into the abandoned building. Cersei sighs and returns to the streets. Let's see if Edgar have better luck. Dude, this is a long demo. I keep thinking it's like close to finish, but it's like ongoing forever. This stream's so long at this point. How long have we been going for? We've been going for 3 hours. In 9 minutes, no matter what, I'm ending. Because we'll have gone for 3 hours and 30 minutes. And that feels like enough time. The lights are on when Cersei enters the office. Edgar must have gotten back first. If you were already here, I guess you wouldn't have found anything worthwhile either. She stops at the doorstep. Oh, you can't be serious. 2 break-ins in one night. She's here! Edgar's nowhere to be seen. Standing behind his desk is the mystery woman from last night. Finally, Cersei can see the woman for what she really is. A witch. A very powerful one if she's able to conceal her magic like that. There you are. I've been waiting for you. Her eyes leave the streets outside to meet Cersei's gaze. They stare at each other for a long beat, neither willing to break eye contact or begin the conversation. Eventually, the woman smiles, impressed for some reason. You have a spine, a quality I respect, as long as one does not mistake it as a suitable replacement for competence. As you are doing right now, the woman laughs. You have a sense of humor as well. That is good. Cersei doesn't but still doesn't move. The woman pushes it away from the wall to stand up straight. She's tall, the same way models are. There should be pointless, ridiculous, inappropriate thought to have at this moment. And yet, Cersei can't help but feel that there's something unnatural about how bewitching the woman before her is. Apologies and introductions are in order. Which would you like to hear first? You choose. Oh, well, if you insist. My name is Nocturne. I'm not a local, but perhaps my accent gave that away already. You all have southern accents, or as close as I can get. Sorry. Amongst the strange circumstances of the situation, Cersei barely noticed the the subtle French accent. I cannot do a French accent. Let me see. Hold on. Je ne parle pas. Je ne parle pas français. Yeah, no, that's not happening. Sorry to ambush you like this in your own office, but you're a busy lady. It is not so easy to catch you alone. Please do not worry. I surely mean you no harm. Am I just expected to believe that? Apparently so, because Nocturne continues talking like there's nothing out of the ordinary. It is really a pleasure to meet you, Cersei. I have heard terrible things about you and the work you do, which means you must be good at it. Whatever you've been told about me, I'm probably worse. Perfect. That is exactly the kind of woman I'm looking to hire. Cersei narrows her eyes at the witch. You want to hire me? For what exactly? Nocturne doesn't look like she requires any help killing your typical street vamp, so it's definitely not for that. The same thing everyone hires you for. I'm looking for someone. I want you to find them. Right. Unfortunately for you, I'm quite busy at the moment, so I won't be able to take your case. Goodbye. Nocturne's voice is firm, even as her perfect smile stays painted on. You're already looking for them. Who? Ah, so JM is a person. I presume so. The person they're pretending to be, the real JM, was a brilliant young witch. But who knows when it comes to this imposter? It could be anyone for all we know. How do you know it's an imposter? Why couldn't it be the real JM? Because she's dead. Nocturne's tone is so detached, Cersei can hardly believe this is all one big joke. She's dead. Quite dead, yes. I would know. I killed her. She's dead. And you killed her. I can't get back to Cersei's voice. At least it's throwing me off. Murdered, slew, killed. Whichever you prefer. Assuming that's even true. Hold on. Assuming that's even true, why would you admit that to a complete stranger? I told you, I've done my research. I know everything I need to know to determine that you are capable of this job. If I did not believe you were capable, I would not be here. I am not a witch to waste her time on whims. Through this conversation, Nocturne's smile has never fallen. Till now. You must understand, it is most important to me that this person is found. I want the best detective possible on the job, and I believe that to be you. So you will take my case. You will find the imposter and the artifact they got their thieving little hands on. You will bring them both to me, and you will not disappoint. She smiles again. Money is of no consequence to me, so you will of course be well compensated for your efforts. Huh. For once, Cersei is genuinely at a loss for words, but Nocturne doesn't seem to mind. I'll take your silence to mean you accept, yes? Oh. Dude, I know I said I wanted to end stream, but it was getting good. Okay. No, yeah. Definitely I'm following them on Blue Sky. Oh, there's a content warning thing here. Oh, I just realized I accidentally hit quit. I'll go back and Dude, that's so good. That was so good. Oh my god. It was a little longer than I expected it to be, demo wise, but it's really good. Like the art is beautiful, like the music is nice. The storytelling's been very fun, like the world building is very cool. Um, yeah, yeah, I really like that. So I will definitely be keeping an eye on that and we'll play the full thing when it's out. Um, but yes, yes, we're gonna be ending stream soon. Thank you for joining me. I hope you guys had fun. I will see you all. What's today? Today's Friday. I don't actually know when my next stream's gonna be, but feel free to follow me on Blue Sky. If you want to, like, you know, if you're like, yeah, I want to come back and watch you do stuff, that would be cool. Um, I will decide my next stream probably tonight. Only because I think I'm planning a collab for Super Battle Golf. But I don't know when that's gonna happen. That might be a while from now. I need to check with the people I'm talking to. If not, I will find something to come do together. I think I'm pretty free this weekend, so maybe we'll just do back to back streams. Instead of taking like a week break in between. I'll see. I'll see. I'll tell you guys soon. Follow me on Blue Sky if you want more updates. Or I'm trying to get better at posting on the YouTube community thing too, so that'll be on there. But thank you for coming. I love you guys. Be safe. Have a good night. Bye bye.